Africa.
You're in tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show with the Prophet Kwaku on GalaxyAfriWe.com, the only brainwashing station in this nation. Asha Senator says so.
Well, I really had to do it. I had to do a jingle for him. I feel big up him name. Kwaku, him a carry the swing. Hey, I really had to do it. I had to do a jingle for him. I miss it without a doubt. You know who I'm talking about. Hey, I really had to do it. I had to do a jingle for him. I miss it without a doubt. Kwaku, him no stop run the route. Well, this is Tipper Iron. You know, some of them for the Nubian Forum Talk Show. With my brethren Kwaku. Keep it locked.
Otep, Utepe, Ineke, J.R. Senebe. In tune to Nubian Forum People's Talk Show, live on GalaxyAfriWe.com. Onitimagba, Tonomofila, Olodumare, Jakimba. We give thanks and praise to the creating force of the universe, the omnipotent being that which is greater than ourselves, who goes by many names. Olodumare, Onyeme, Nkulukulu, Mungo, Ja, Amen Ra, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. You the man say? To the faith that we survive, forward we go until the end of time. I love this tree. Otep. Greetings in the name of the creating force of the universe, the omnipotent being that which is greater than ourselves. Akwaba to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show. Live on GalaxyAfriWe.com, transmitting on the Facebook, Kwaku Bonso. Inside the studio, I have a great sister inside the studio with me. But you know, we start the show already. We have to give honor and praises unto the creating force of the universe and to the ancestors. So we say, Muduba Fun to the ancestors them who fought the enemies of Mama Africa for the last 6 millenniums. Those ancestors that fought in the 2 Punic Wars. Those ancestors that fought in all of the battles against the Romans, the French, the Ixus, the British, the Germans, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese, and the descendants who occupy present-day United States of America. Modubafu to those ancestors. Modubafu to the ancestors who wrote our stories down on stones, papyrus, books, put them in scrolls, in audio, in video, so that we would know who we are, where we come from, how we arrive where we're there, how long we have been here, the contributions that our ancestors has made to the civilizing of this planet, the mistakes we made, and we made many, the corrections we need to do and where we need to go. Mudubafu to those ancestors. Mudubafu to the ancestors that gave their lives in the Middle Passage. Mudubafu to the ancestors that gave their lives on those plantations where they fought for our liberation. Where them never give up. Them never buck. Them never buckle. Them never say, oh, it's been like this for too long, it can't change. It's always been. Mudubafu to those ancestors who stood up and said, no, my descendants will not suffer this. Liberty or death. Mudubafu to those ancestors. And Mudubafu to our parents who are not here with us today. Those who we had the privilege to come through their lineage and be here to fight the fight. Mudubafu and honor unto those ancestors. Mudubafu to the ancestors who fought in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s the 80s, the 90s, right up until now, for reparatory justice, reparations. We salute you and continue the work. Itepeneke J.A. Senebe, Madasipa Akwaba, to the Nubian Forum talk show. Now, inside the studio, if you're on the Facebook, you can see the Queen. But me never want to see her yet, to me introduce her still, So, just go on like you don't see her. Yeah, and I'm just looking for a bio, because I did ask her to send me, but she did send it, and I did download it. And I'm just trying to find it, because I need to read out the bio of this great African woman. A lot of people, some of you might know her, some of you might not know her. Yeah, but she is one of the principal female liberationists in this country for many years, and not just here. She's been to the continent, she's been to the Caribbean, and wherever this sister's gone, she's done works. You understand what I'm saying? And so, I did have it here. I did. Where is it? Right there. Yeah. This sister, she's done a lot of works. And as you know, I'm doing a series of unsung heroes. And some of them, like who we had last week, Elder Minka, don't like to talk about themselves, yeah? And so, this sister, she's the same. These are people like to do the work, like Stafford, like Lee, like Minka. And now, sister is sitting here. I'm not going to say her name yet, because I'm going to read out about her. Yeah? She's a retired health professional. I'm going to get this thing up here. So, I just want to read this thing. So I'm going to make no mistake at all about introducing this great queen that we have amongst us. Yeah? And somebody that I respect artically, wholly, I respect her highly. You understand me? Because when me was a youth and me come on the struggle, me see her. Me come and see her. I do the works. You understand me? She's a retired professional. She is the author of Women in the Garvey Movement, which we'll be speaking to her about that as well. Book and poster and praise of our ancestors. She was born in Jamaica, came to this country in January 1959, and she changed her name by Deepwell. But I hide out them little piece there, because I don't want to big up the foreign name. Yeah? Right? She's a Pan-Africanist, a Garvey organizer, community activist, mother and grandmother, and currently a member of the Friends of the Black Cultural Archives in Brixton. Helping with fundraising and a treasurer for the Friends of the local youth club in the area where she lives, which is predominantly attended by African youths. She's been organizing in the community since the 1980s. Started as a member of the fundraising group of the Associations of Black Social Workers and Allied Professionals, fighting to prevent black children being fostered and adopted outside of the African community. Was secretary for the Black Action Group in Balam, along with the 5 sisters that created the Harriet Tubman Sisters, women's group which organized political education for women at the BAG offices in Balam. At this time, she raised funds for the Ethiopia Famine Appeal, supported Africa in the 21st Century Conference, which was held at Battersea Town Hall in 1985. Following the shooting of Cherry Gross in Brixton and the death of Cynthia Jarrett, Tottenham, caused by the police, she and other sisters formed a group called HTS, were part of the organizing committee along with Sister Amelda Inyang and Brother Minka, who I had here last week, from the Black Unity and Freedom Party, which arranged a Black People for Justice demonstration which took place. She was one of the chief stewards at that demonstration. In 1987, Amelda Young and she were the two women on the executive committee for Marcus Garvey Centenary Committee, formed to celebrate 100th birth year of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. She was a treasurer and fundraiser coordinator and personally sponsored the raffle which was drawn at by Queen Mother Moore, who is no longer with us, is an ancestor. During the 1990s, she worked with sisters from Moya Wefter Pan-African Grassroots Women's Organization to form the Pan-Africanist Women's Forum, providing political education for women at 365 Brixton Road. She was co-founder of the Pan-African Organization, the Universal African Peoples Development Association, which provided weekly political re-education programs to the community and Albrighton Community Center in Dulwich. She was one of the key organizers for the Slave Babies campaign in 1995. You see the works what this woman are going with? Eh? What a heavy review. She worked with Sister one of our presenters on the station. She worked with Sister Shanice of Starlight Academy on fundraising for Haiti and Zimbabwe, organized many cultural events and conferences. She's been part of the GAC UK Reparations Organization and was one of the delegations at the formation of GAC in Barbados 2002. In 2007, along with Sis Winoa and others, she formed the Alliance of African Women. We organized many community workshops at Offley Road Community Center, focusing on how they could move our community and people forward to becoming self-determined and self-reliant. She has a long history of organizing in the community, too long to mention. Yeah, and in fact, to say often people would have been busy organizing, haven't time to remember what they have done. She's always organized and worked with activists in Jamaica, organizing events such as Africa Liberation Day celebrations, cultural programs in St. Catherine Parish Library, and at the UDC community organization, as well as speaking on various radio programs, especially on IRI FM radio station. This later information to say wherever she goes, she takes her political work with her. Sister Elder Nzinga Asata Akwaba.
Greetings.
Go on again, sis.
Greetings, family.
Yes, so the people can't hear you, you know. Go on, so we can hear you.
Greetings, Brother Kwaku, and the rest of the African family.
Mm-hmm. You know, sis, that is a resume. That is a resume like no other resume. And you know, I just want to keep it, you know, formal and, you know, with just a reason about certain things, Sister Nzinga. And the first thing I want to ask you, I asked a similar question to Elder Minka last week, but God, did he answer any of the questions? But I know that you're a person who don't really like talking about yourself. I've seen you around. I've seen you at many African Liberation Days, African Remembrance Day. I've seen you on demonstrations. I've seen you at workshops. And I was in Barbados with you in 2002. That's right. And I know you as a woman who, you know, ramp. You work. You do the thing. The question that I want to ask you, when did you first encounter your African self?
I would say it started in the early 80s. To be fair, let me go back. I've always, even from a child, had a little feeling inside of myself that something was wrong. I can remember when I was about 7 or 8 thinking, why is it us that has a problem with this history of slavery? Mm-hmm. We didn't do anything wrong. Shouldn't it be the people who did the wrong? Shouldn't it be them who is ashamed and feeling bad? So, in a way, it was already in me. But it didn't come out until the 80s, I would say, when I started to, as I say, work with the Association of Black Social Workers and Allied Professionals. That was when I really began to understand that the societies that we lived in was institutionally racist and hated black people and wanted to treat us badly. So,
all right, you're born in Jamaica.
I was.
Tell me a bit about your life in Jamaica. Just a little bit, tell me a bit about what Jamaica was like when you was growing up.
Well, to be honest, I only lived in Jamaica until I was 7.5, because, as I say, I came here in January 1959. We lived in Yorton in St. Catherine, and we had our family home at a place called Roadside District. My father was a lay preacher, so we were always brought up in church. I was left by my mother when I was 3, and by my father when I was 1. We were left with my grandmother. And so I grew up thinking that my grandmother was my mother until, obviously, as I say, we came over here. In Jamaica, I mean, you were part of the community. You went to church, as most people who grew up in Caribbean households know. You go to church, you go to school. I went to what they call basic school. I can remember the teacher and the slate that you had, and playing in the road with the other children. And, I was reflecting the other day. We used to have this long culvert, which you would slide down it. And may I tell you, if you go over the edge, you're dead. See. And yet, as children, we saw nothing wrong with that, because when you're, a child, you think you're invincible, you're brave. And I was just reflecting the other day that, boy, if I was big, I would never have done it. Sure. Yeah, we grew up in a nice, close family in Jamaica, to be honest. Yeah.
So you came in 1959. How old was you when you came here?
7 and 3. I was nearly 8.
Oh, so you went to primary school there?
I did.
What was your first? Did you come over on ship or did you fly?
We came on. I can't remember. We came by air. I can't remember the name.
BOAC.
BOAC. That's it.
Yeah, BOAC.
I came on my sister's passport because she was 9 and I was 7. And so I was just written into her passport.
Seen. So you came here with your how many of you is there?
Well, there was 8 of us. There's 6 of us still alive. 4 girls and 3 boys still alive. Yeah.
And did all your siblings come over with you? Or?
All of them came before. My father brought up each of his children. Every 2 years he brought up. So he brought my brother and 2 of my brothers in 55, a sister in 57, and then another sister in 58, and me and my sister in 59. So, but he also assisted bringing up other family members. So I can remember when they brought up my cousin, who passed away a couple of years ago, Leslie. Then they brought up some other cousins, my father's nieces and nephews. And we had 2 houses in Alma Road, 61 and 63 Alma Road in Wandsworth, just off East Hill.
Oh, yeah, East
And
Hill,
he rented one, and we lived in the other. And
a bit of an entrepreneur.
To be honest, my father was a community activist, although he didn't know it. He was a preacher. My father used to, Mr. Bedward, I'm going to tell you, Carl, your mother used to go to my father's church in Hetherington Road in Brixton. Do you remember when we had your father's funeral?
Yeah.
You was introducing me to your mother. And even Sister Joanne that walks now with
Joanne with it.
Yeah, Joanne, tell me she have a picture of my father and mother in our house, because they used to go to, I didn't know this until your father's funeral.
Seen. Because Errington Road, that was Pastor Fagan.
Well, it started off as my father, Pastor Bedward, and him and some of the other people, not Pastor Fagan, they got on very well, because right now Pastor Fagan's wife lives just by where I live in Mitcham. But anyway, going back.
No. Pastor Fagan's wife dead.
No, man. Pastor Fagan dead. His wife is alive.
No, Pastor Fagan's wife dead.
Well, he must have married a different wife then, because when Pastor Fagan, Sister Facey.
Yeah, Sister Facey. Sister Facey dead too, you know that, innit?
No.
You never know Sister Facey dead?
Sister
Facey dead. Must be a couple months back. Sister Hashmeal dead.
Then you mean our daughter?
Sister Wright dead.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know Sister Facey dead. I used to see her. We used to go to our exercise class at the library.
No, Sister Facey dead.
I'm really sad to hear
Sister
that.
Facey dead. Sister Wright did dead. So we're just having a moment here, people. Apologies.
No worries.
Right, Sister Wright did dead, and then I think Sister Facey dead after Sister Wright.
I didn't know Sister Wright, so I can't speak to that. But as I said, I know Sister Facey from a little bit.
Yeah, Sister Facey, she passed away.
I'm sad to hear
she
that.
gone with the ancestors,
Absolutely.
and then Pastor Fagan.
Well, he had passed
Pastor Fagan,
quite a while ago, isn't it?
No, man, Pastor Fagan dead last year.
Maybe we're not talking about this.
Two different. It's not. Pastor Fagan's a short man.
Little man.
Yeah, short little man. Yeah. Him dead last year.
Okay, no, I didn't. I thought it was more than that. But anyway.
But anyway, go on. We'll discuss that. Sorry, people. Sorry about that. We were just having a moment.
No, just going back to my father being a community activist. He used to organise most of the weddings in the community. And he would be the master of ceremony. My mother was a caterer. She would make wedding dress, wedding cake, and cater for. So they, if you like, were the community bringing people together. And so I remember as a youngster, when I was learning typing at school, I used to have to type out him letter for him convention them and send it out to all of the people with my invite. And, also things that my father used to do, which kept us together as a family. And this is something that I think as a people we've really lost, this coming together. Every morning at 6 o'clock, everybody would have to get up. And you would have had to have learned a passage from the Bible, which you are going to say from your head now. You're not going to read it.
Call it the golden text.
All right. Exactly. When him have him convention, them you have to learn something to recite and stand up on platform. So, you know, that gave you that confidence in yourself. And, I mean, I remember my father always used to say, stick to your own. We weren't allowed to straighten we here. Yeah? If my mother used to hide and send me, as you come through the door, him dash one bucket of water over your head. So that's why I say my father was a bit of an activist without really knowing it. So that's probably where
he was
I
a
get
proud Africa.
My organising from. Well, he wouldn't have said that, unfortunately. I mean,
natural.
I don't know if you've ever heard my poem, They Took My Mama and Made Her White. I mean, that is such a deep poem that looks at that hatred of self. And
do a piece right now.
Okay, I will do. So the poem is called They Took My Mama and Made Her White. They took my mama and made her white, so much so that she hates herself. They took my mama and made her white, and she became ashamed of her colour. Ashamed to be black, she favoured white or light skin. Anything too black don't have anything to do with it, says my mama, as she reverently watches and admires the queen. Her white Christ is on the wall, all blonde-haired, blue-eyed and smiling, and my black-white mama worships reverently. No room for black visual images, no room for African gods, no room for African religion, 'cause my black mama's white through and through. To New York I went one summer. A black Madonna and child I did bring for my mama. No thanks did I get, no exclamation of delight, not even a what that you bring. No words were uttered by my parent to say that's an interesting picture you have there. It made me sad, oh so sad to realise that my mother was white through and through. I feel so sorry for her because she thinks that I am mad for loving blackness more than anything else in this world. She calls me up often to tell me to stop them things that you're saying, to stop mixing with them people that you're mixing with. Them going to cut you down, she tells me, as if I care. That nice job that you did have in the health service, you give it up, and now you turn nobody. Me have to laugh and remind her of our enslavement, of colonialism, white supremacy, imperialism, which robbed Africans of our minds and our lands and resources.
Sure.
She calls me evil, wishes I died at birth, and I have to shake my head in despair, because my mama's going to go to her grave, and she'll still be white through and through. Now, that was an argument that I had with my mother in the kitchen one time, because she I was a manager in the health service, a nurse manager.
What year was that?
I became a nurse manager in 1988 and going through to 1995, which was when I left. And but when I became a Pan-Africanist in the early 80s, obviously I changed my name, started to wear African clothes. So when I managed a workplace day nursery in Peckham. And so obviously we put up, the poster them, and we had Kwanzaa, we had Brother Coker. You may not know Brother Coker. He was a South African elder, and he used to organise the libation for the Kwanzaa celebrations at Head Start at 25 West Green Road in Tottenham.
Seven Sisters, yeah?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so I organised for them to come in my first year there and do a Kwanzaa celebration. And so this was the things my mother did, how you are dressed so, you're not dressed proper, I'm kind of weird. Yeah. And so we had this discussion about...
So, Sister Nzinga, I just want to take you back a bit, sis, yeah? Because I'm sure people find this. Big up to everybody who's on the Facebook watching. Give thanks. Send it out. They met people, you have to hear about this sister here.
Thank you.
So you went to primary school here. Mm-hmm. What was you come from Jamaica, you come where, there's a lot of greenery, there's a lot of coconut tree, pear tree, guinea tree, soursop tree, orange tree, lime, and jackfruit, and,
absolutely,
and mango.
I love jackfruit.
And all them something there. And so you come from something like that. You come from where you live in a detached house. You don't live in... so you come here, absolutely, and then you see where you're living. What was that experience like?
Well, it was very bad for me to begin with. When I first came, I hated being here. And I cried and cried. I remember crying for 2 weeks straight. And in fact, they were thinking of sending... Because as I say, I thought my grandmother was my mother. So they were thinking of sending me back. But, as a youngster, after it... I couldn't believe the big smoking chimney and all them, as you say. Mm-hmm. Our house was on a big whole heap of land. So, you had whole heap of space to play the road, them big, because also we didn't have hardly any car out there. So, you just run out a road and play with your friend, them, etc. So for me, it was not a good experience, but I did settle down and obviously stayed here. I went to Eltringham Primary School, which is just off York Road in Battersea. And
it's still there?
It is there. I'll be honest with you, I was one of the top students. I was in the 11 plus class, me and another sister called Winifred Walters. Now Winifred, you see, people go on like black people, poor and no have anything. Winifred father had one house on St. John's Road, St. John's Hill Road. One massive house, massive basement, about 4-story. And them used to keep chicken in the back, etc. So, black people have been doing great things from a long time. Only say it doesn't get the publicity whereby it would impact and influence our people. So it's for us to put it out there and make sure people know. We did go on with plenty things. As you know, pardon our people, take by them house and all these things. So we have a lot to learn. A lot of our people seem to think, them just have come now for start liberation fight and work. Whole heap of work gone before. And people need to begin to research this work. In the archives, I have a massive deposit in there. And, it's got a lot of the Pan-African conferences that were done. I have information there on the education of the Black Child conferences that used to be held in Manchester by Paul Obina. Whole heap of something. That's a massive deposit there.
We're going to come to that because that's the last thing you're doing. I want people to get a feel of who you are and what led you to move on the road that you're on now. Okay. So you went to that primary school off York Road, and what was the experience like there?
I'll be honest with you. I actually had a pretty straightforward experience there. There's only one thing I remember. One evening, me and this little white girl was going home, and we was walking along York Road. And I don't know what she said to this big woman, a black woman was passing. All me know is the woman who opened her hand and gave her one box. Me don't know how her head did still left on her body. Well, she must have said something racist to the woman. You know, so as I got older, I began to look at that and think, well, you know, you get where you did ask for. Because I must something she said, the woman never mad. So she wasn't going to... So these are some of the... There was racism, obviously. And, I mean, even in the streets we live, people used to run you down and call you wog, nicker, blackie, blah. But we was tough, and we would stand up for ourselves, and if necessary, thump down people. You know, and go call your big brother to come deal with them. So
in the area that you live, which was kind of like the Battersea area, I know Battersea as it was a lot of black people did live in Battersea. That was eventually in the 50s. In the 50s when I came in 59, we were the only black people on our street. In Dempster Road, a couple of roads across, was I don't know if you know Redman, the song. Yes, I know the song.
Redman. Him and him family, them did live over the, I think it's either Dempster or Birders Road. There was 3 black families in that area. And the Cork family did live in one of them. I can't remember whether it was Redman in Dempster Road or the Cork, but there was 3 set of family. That was the totality.
So growing up in 59, you come here, 7.5 years old, you end up in this primary school. You ran a lot of white people. What was that?
Total.
What was that like? Because that seemed to me like a total opposite to what you was used to, because you're coming from a country where it's pure black people, you're amongst. You might see the occasional white person, but in general, you're amongst your own people. So you come here, it was like a culture shock. What was that like for you?
To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you the truth, Brother Kwaku. At the time, we didn't think about it. We were a big family, and my father was this kind of person where him no want you out there with a mix up. So for him, is uno play with yourself. And obviously they also were involved with the church. So again, you were in a black community with whole heap of picnic and whole heap of people who look just like you. So we kind of moved amongst ourselves. We never go out as my father would have said, they like no Lego beast. So we were under real strict manners and good control, which I think is what has...
but the school experience. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find out, because, me not born yet when you come here,
Exactly.
Me not born yet,
Absolutely.
Me born 3 years after you come.
Oh, you see it there.
So you got school now with these whole part gringo them. And it's just you and one other black guy, you're saying it?
That's right. In that school at that time.
And you were all right. Things were just all right.
I think, you see, this is the thing with children. Children repeat what they see in the society. I have to say, I really didn't have a problem in primary school at all. We had some problems in secondary school, which I went to Lavender Hill Secondary School, just at the top of Lavender Hill there, Dorothy Road, it by the police station and the little law court, them out there. Yeah, so...
That was a secondary school?
Yeah, man. It's housing. It's housing now. That was half of it, and then the other half was in Plough Road.
Oh, Plough Road. Yeah.
They had two, like a lower division and an upper division.
Okay, yeah. And so you experienced, because I experienced racism in school. A lot of teachers would call you little wog.
No, I never had that
my primary school,
in a primary school. I actually think things got worse. The more of us that came.
Seen.
Yeah.
So you weren't seeing that much of a threat then, were you?
Exactly.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I think things got worse as more of us came. Because you then began to have all them Enoch Powell speech and them something Cause them and people then you remember they were passing laws to prevent people from bringing their children, so people quickly rush and bring up them children. So will it more are we there? No, so that was when they started. Well, not that they hadn't before, because obviously we know in 1958 they murdered Kelso Cochran in Notting Hill.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But I think it got worse.
May 17th, isn't it?
Yeah, it got worse. The more of us that came.
So you're one of the Senfa them.
Senfa, absolutely.
Yeah, the Senfa crew, isn't it? I just a little thing I could, me at the Banya, and she had the Senfa.
Absolutely. Well, 6 of us was Senfa, and the 2 youngest were born here.
So you had a relative good primary school experience.
Absolutely.
And then you went to secondary school.
Yeah, went to Lavender Hill Secondary School.
And what was that like?
To be honest with you, at that secondary school we had a lot more black people. Woolip. And we tended to have our own space, so we tended to move amongst ourselves. You might call to the white girls and say hello, but they weren't your friends. So, I mean, I even now to this day, I have four black friends that I moved with, and a Woolip more that, I know, and we greet each other and so on. And in a way, we were quite strong. I have to say, we were quite strong because you had the Black Power movement in America, which also made us very strong. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And the Afro, you remember the dashiki and the Afro at that time, the Black Panthers, all of these things.
But they had a Black Panther movement here as well, innit?
Well, I didn't know that until the 80s when I became involved in political work, which was very interesting to learn.
So what was you go school? Did you go college, university? Did you?
I went after school. I went straight into nursing at Kingston Hospital in Surrey. I'll be honest. You know what, Kwaku? If I'm honest, I really had a very straightforward life as growing up in this country. Probably call me wealthiest. In fact, I remember my brother and sister them used to say, "Smaddy, I got thump me in my mouth," because me did wealthiest. So if you, I mean, when I was 16 in secondary school, Lavender Hill, I remember there was this incident in the playground. A young sister called Patsy, we were all playing outside. We were probably about 15, 16, them age there. And it started to drizzle. So there was this tall white male teacher, and him love to push him weight around. So him come and him tell if he go in, well, you know, teenage people, you are going to push all the boats. So we said, we're not going away. And we turn up outside the hall door at the school. So him come over, and Patsy, she was a little bit, Patsy Blake, and him start drag her in a so we know start to go on real bad, and I cuss and I tell him to left her alone and blah. And the next thing, there was a girl, can't remember her full name now, but I know she did name Yolanda, and she pick up a brick to lick him. And the next thing, one big uproar starting at the school. So then the teacher now, the headmistress, Mrs. Ball, she called me. Because she said, me cause it, me and the girl named Yolanda, and somebody else. I can't remember who the other person was. And she called me to her office. And she said, because normally I was seen as Miss Goody Two Shoes, because I was very getting on with my work. Anyway, what is it, she said, what has caused you to behave in this manner? So I said to her, I said, I hate you. I hate all of you. I'd like to kill all of you. And I was suspended from school, So I'm just showing you.
Familiar to me.
No, well, it shows you that the thing was already in you. You probably didn't even know why I didn't even know why I was saying what I was saying.
So what did your dad say about that?
Well, my dad never get to say anything because they gave me a letter, obviously, to take home, which I didn't take home.
Which you didn't take, the brown letter.
You know,
me know about the brown letter.
For the week, me go sit down at my sister's house. But what I didn't realize is, obviously, when you come back, you have to carry your parents to the school. So that's when my father find out, say, me was suspended for 1 week. Anyway, I mean, the truth is, after that, I became the deputy head girl. and I was a prefect most of my school life. Because I'm a very organized person. I'm also a very disciplined person. And so they knew that they could, what's the word I'm looking for? In a way, it was almost using you to control your other contemporaries in the school.
Yes.
But you didn't see it at that time.
But I remember when I met you, when I first saw you, first noticed you, I think it was an event that Femi put on.
Right.
At New Initiatives.
I was just going to say to you, it would probably have been at New Initiatives.
Yeah, it was a New Initiatives. And you just had that aura about it, like a no-nonsense person, like that their sister, they don't, like, nobody can mess with her, she.
I'm definitely a no-nonsense person.
You have that kind of aura about you.
And if me tell you, may I do it, Brother Pepperkai will tell you, you can set your clock by Sister Nzinga. God, me tell you A, then it's just A.
See.
And if me know something, if it's you ask me, I no want to do it, me not do it. I mean, I got to tell you straight. God, this is for me. It's also a problem that we have as a people, and we don't, and we need to face it. If we agree, we join an organization, and we agree we are the work, deliver the work. Because if you don't deliver the work, what it does is it demotivates the other people who are in the organization. And it also causes a lot of strife. And this is how the organizations keep breaking down. Because then people leave and then, and the thing now gone away. So for me, if you make a commitment, if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. If you say you're going to do it, do it.
So you leave. So you had a relative good time at school. You went into nursing. Why did you choose nursing?
Well, to be honest, from I was little, I used to care for my sister. She had bad asthma and was always sick and with asthma, the heavy breathing and very sick, sometimes vomiting. And his uncle me would care her and nurse her and my parents in those days, most black parents, it was either nursing or teaching. Them never want you to do nothing else because I was a good runner as well. And my big sister, they did want her to train for the Olympics, but my dad said no, him no want none of them something there. Even my brother was telling me he wanted to do football and him send for some book. My dad tell him to send back the book. So there was a kind of not that wide awareness that these things could take you places as well. It was just the professions that they were interested in. So that was a bit of a problem.
So you gone into nursing, and then from how long was you a nurse?
It's 3 years. I did.
You did a 3, and then you left after the 3 years.
I left the day I sat my finals because I didn't really. What I wanted to do. When I was in the middle of my training, I went out with the health visitors, which is the health visitors are independent practitioners. So you have your caseload of work and you decide how you're going to do it, when you are going to do it, who you are going to visit and when. So I was really taken with this form of independence. You work 9 to 5 and blah. And you decide how
and you organize your day.
Exactly. That really got me going. So I decided that I wasn't going to stay in nursing. But obviously I had to pass the nursing because you have to be a nurse to become a health visitor. So I did that and left. And I passed. I mean, I remember the matron here, she called me in our office. Suppose you fail the exam. I said, I'll come back and take it again. But I didn't fail. I passed. So, off I went. Then I worked at St. Thomas's Hospital as a charge nurse in the X-ray department and moved on.
What was it like working in those institutions? What year are we talking about?
I worked at St. Thomas's in 1980. I started there in 1986. 86 or 85? 85. I started work as a charge nurse in the X-ray department. Obviously, there was a lot of racism practiced against black people. Because even in Kingston Hospital, there was one male teacher in the nursing school, always marked down the black and other groups. Because we had nurses from Africa, Malaysia, Ireland, all over. But the black students would often get marked down. And one year, I remember one year, all of the black people then pass the exam, and nearly all of the white people fail.
Even though they mark on the dome.
No, but none of them didn't mark the paper. Because when you do your finals, the papers go off to...
Or they go somewhere else.
Nobody now see you. So, so that was evidence for us. But as I say, you know, we were tough. I remember in the nursing school, we used to take over when footballer play Brazil and World Cup. When World Cup, we just go and go take over the living area. And nobody now watch nothing but Brazil. I play football. So, although there was a lot of racism in the society, we got on with life. We made life. And as I say, if anybody trouble you, you give them a good cussing and even thump them down if you need it to.
So did you have to thump people down at points?
Well, from time to time.
So you go through the nursing, you decide to go and do that...
I was a charge nurse. Then
you went to the...
After I worked at St. Thomas's for about 10 months, I saw a position for a school nurse. Now, the school nurse position is like, it's a door opened to the entry to the health visiting, which is what I really wanted to do. And I can remember a lady telling me that if I can get myself into becoming a school nurse, it's almost a guarantee that I'll get on the course for the health visiting, which is the truth of the matter, because I worked for 18 months in Balham and at Henry Thornton School. I was a school nurse for Henry Thornton, Brixton at Sudbourne School, in all of those areas, Henry Cavendish in Balham, blah. So that was where I did my school nursing. And then I applied and went straight into health visiting training in 1987.
Doing the school nursing, you know, Henry Thornton, which used to be in Clapham, is now Lambeth College.
That's right.
And then Sudbourne, which is from Branson up Sudbourne Road there. And then in Balham,
Henry Cavendish.
Yeah.
I had my own 5 schools, and I decided, I spent one day in each school. And obviously, you would also allocate some time to do your admin work at the end of the week. So again, most of my work has been quite independent practice in terms of when I go into the school, I decide who needs to be seen for what, etc. Yeah.
And so from the school nurse now, in that time while you're doing that work, was you doing any activism?
I'm trying to remember. No, because, well, I would have been. I joined the Association of Black Social Workers in 1981. We used to meet at, do you see Brixton Road, opposite Blue Star House? Do you remember Blue Star House?
Yeah, Blue Star.
Yeah. But on the main road at Brixton Road, we used to meet above those, the Building Society and them little shop where them have. Just before you get to the police station. We had a massive organisation called the Association of Black Social Workers and Allied Professionals. And
so when was that? Was that were you part of creating that, or somebody created it and you became?
It was created and I became a member. But I also was part of a group of 4. We were called the fundraising group. And we were just so keen to get on board now, come and be doing something for black people. So we used to organise. We organised a massive dance at the Crypt at St Matthew's in Brixton to raise funds for a big conference. Because that booklet that I gave you, which we submitted, a document to the House of Commons Social Services Committee in 1983, telling them that we wanted them to stop placing black children in white families and fostering black children out of London, which when them come back, plenty of them are rub off them skin because they didn't want to be black.
And plenty of them got abused.
Exactly. Absolutely. So that was what that association did. It consisted of social workers, psychologists, probation officers, nurses, health visitors like myself at the time, etc. So in addition, the work that was done there was also to set up the organisation in Gresham Road called the New Black Families.
Okay.
And the New Black Families, the aim of that was to recruit black foster and adoptive parents across the country, and to also make local authorities stop recruiting white families to look after black children and make them place them in black families. So that was a major piece of work that organisation did. They also got race awareness policies introduced, also policies where in schools and nurseries and places they had to have images that reflected the culture of the children, and the staff had to be trained in the culture.
So all of this came out of the organisation?
Absolutely. Well, maybe not just that one organisation, but that was one that I know personally.
So you were more like a pressure group then?
Absolutely a pressure group. And as I say, you keep that document. That document
I'll have a read of it.
Highlights the way in which racist practice was destroying black families. And we had a massive launch at the Abeng. It was the Abeng then.
Abeng, yeah.
Exactly, not the Caribou, at Gresham Road. Paul Boateng was the main speaker. Again, I have the write-up of that in my deposit at the Black Cultural Archives. So that was a whole heap of work that was done there. Yeah,
Paul Boateng, yeah. Them man, they make the political career of black people. You never see them again.
Absolutely. This was you see, in at that time, they weren't in Parliament, so you got a lot of activism out of them, because his wife was one of the activist social workers. In fact,
him and his wife fell out because of a position that he took.
Oh, okay.
and the wife didn't agree with it.
Right.
And this was some years ago. I think it's to do with children as well.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, because unfortunately, a lot of people who go into these political offices, they have to compromise. Yeah. They can't be in there and be a nationalist or a Pan-Africanist, in all honesty, because the things that they're going to have to agree to, we as a community may not agree to those things. So these are a lot of the issues. I mean, if you look at when we had the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade commemoration in, is it 2007?
I can't remember when it was.
Yeah, when Brother Toyn stood up in Westminster Abbey and cussed them off. Yeah, when that...
The
bicentenary, yeah. Where them call this Amos?
Baroness Amos?
Well, but I would know Baroness, nothing. All them something there, just damn nonsense. I mean, can you be part
No, but hold on. Is that woman yet?
That woman.
Oh, that woman there. All right,
Didn't she say slavery was legal?
Yes.
What kind of nonsense
Don't
is that?
Durban. Them say not down at Durban, innit?
What kind of nonsense is that?
Yeah. Well, them always find them kind of people that really come justify and sanction what them do.
I mean, to me,
sell out them culture.
Those are people without shame. Because when you look at what our ancestors suffered, it better you keep your mouth shut then. If you don't have nothing good for say, keep your mouth shut. Because to me, that is so offensive that even now me offended by it.
Well, the thing about it is, sis, when we study the story of our people, we see that energy permeate itself all the while, right through our enslavement, our battle with these people. We will always have the traitors, the people them that will sell out their people. You're in tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show, live here on Galaxy Afiwe.com, inside with Sister Nzinga Asata, one of our generals, our female generals on the battlefield. From the 80s, she are going, she not play with the thing. So you done that, and then you was part of the black social worker.
The Association of Black
Social. Yeah.
ABSWAP, they used to call it. There was a sister called Connie Penny, Myrtle Bernard, David Devine, John Small. John Small went back to Jamaica and set up some work around,
I mean, that still exists, that. black social worker thing, you know.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be other, because I did a talk for the Pan-African Society Community Forum when they were still at 365 Brixton Road, and we were looking at, and this is about, I can't remember how long ago, but maybe 5-6 years now, they were looking at, more contemporary social workers were looking at the fact that a lot of the work that was done has been eroded because they're now trying to say that anybody can adopt any child, and race don't matter,
But you got a document saying that you put that in, and what happened? What was the result of that?
Well, the result was, as I'd said, we got the New Black Families formed to campaign for recruitment of black people to foster and adopt black children, which did take spread widely across the country in its time. You also had, as I say, race awareness training for anyone that was going to be looking after black children. They had to understand hair and skin care, religion. They also had to be trained in how to manage the children, their food, making sure that they were interacting with their community and their people. And then what else?
Let me stop you there, sis, because you know, this is very interesting because I'm sure many people listening to this didn't know any of this.
I'm sure of it.
You understand me? And so this is something that needs, because it's like them sweep it underneath the carpet.
Absolutely. But we've allowed it to be swept under the carpet as well, because, I mean, I wonder how much social worker or even health visit said this work was done. Because, you know, this is another thing we as a people need to understand.
We need to document stuff.
Right. We need to document stuff, but the younger people also need to search and find this stuff. And people need to stop going on like everything is new and at them come create. Whole heap gone on before. And we need to look back to go forward. There's a whole heap of stuff. As I said, there's a whole heap of stuff in the archives at Brixton, at the Black Cultural Archives. A whole heap of really powerful stuff. And there's a library there where people can, obviously in this time now, you have to book an appointment for go there. But in the past, you could go in and book your appointment. So, you know, go there, get out the documents, look at what work has gone on. I mean, I like the Pan-African Congress movement. I mean, look, from way back, come on the scene, come find the Pan-African Congress. Them used to organize the talks, the re-education program them at Head Start at 25 West Green Road in Tottenham. I mean, they come learn about Africa Liberation Day from them. They used to do a weekly.
So what age were you then?
That would have been about 83, 84. Probably in my early 30s, I would say, at that time. They used to have Heroes Week, where they would celebrate the heroes at the African Caribbean Community Centre at Whiteman Road in Hornsey. You know, whole heap of things. Kwanzaa. I mean, when we start Kwanzaa in the 80s over at the African Turnpike Lane, the centre, you could have count probably 10 hand, your hand, how much people are there Kwanzaa. Now you can't even get in. If you go over to Whiteman Road now, people are down the stairs because. So it just goes to show that if we do the work, people will come on board.
So it seems to me what I'm picking up, and I don't know if people, you know, I'm picking up same time, but it seems to me that that what happened is that it seems to me that you just flowed into liberation.
I would say.
Yeah, you just flowed into it.
And come in and want to work. You see, you come in and you want to grow. Yeah, so when I came in, I was a novice. But once you start to interact in the education programs, because they used to have every Sunday at Head Start, there was, and in fact, going back a little bit to BAG, in 1982, I joined the Black Action Group in Balham, and I was the secretary to their executive group, and that's where we formed the Harriet Tubman.
Oh, so hold a minute. Did you know Cecil Ross?
I know Cecil Ross very, very well indeed. We used to have
the Tooting Youth Project.
Yeah, we used to have.
I went to the Tooting Youth Project.
Oh, okay, we used to have summer with program.
And Basil Ballas and the man.
Basil was the head.
117
Black
Project.
Action Group, exactly.
Yeah, when you said the Black Action Group, it just ring a bell. Because them time there, me a youth, me about 20 them time there.
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah, because me did I do some youth community work at the Black 117 Project from Ballamil.
Because they had the accommodation for the young men.
Yeah, Ballamil there.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ballamil and then
and all that. Who knows that did exist?
Yes.
And then them did set up a housing association Plough Road for the young women.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
These things people need to understand.
And it's true, Cecil Ross,
That's right.
He was running that program.
That's right. Me know him very well indeed. Yeah.
When last see him?
No, I haven't seen him for years.
You know, my book was it last year, the year, end of the year? I think it was last year they buck him up,
Because Basil, I couldn't tell you. I saw the treasurer, the guy that used to be the.
Oh, you're talking Richie.
Richie, I saw.
Yeah, you're talking Richie. Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But Basil,
Mr. Richie did what? Early was it? I think it was the early part of this year. I saw him at a funeral.
Right.
Mr. Richie, yeah. Because I used to work with Richie in a
117.
117.
You remember they had a black elderly on Garrett Road.
Yes. Yeah.
I did poetry in 1989. I did poetry. Lenny Henry was the host. I did a performance poetry for them at the Lola Jones Community Center.
Oh, yeah, Lola, yes.
All that, the papers, as I say, all these papers are in the archives.
Well, people, we're in it because I see, look, I got a connection with Sister Nzinga that I didn't even know myself. You know what I mean?
So even Cecil Gottsmore came and spoke at because Brother Warmy was the coordinator at the Black Action Group, and he did organize the conference, the Africa in the 21st Century Conference at Battersea Town Hall in 1980.
I was supposed to go to that, I can't remember why I never turned up, but
I did the catering for the whole.
Yeah, them said to me, "What happened to you? You're supposed to come." I can't remember why I never go.
Yeah, I did the catering for the whole of that. But they used to have education program at BAG on Bedford Hill there. And Cecil used to come and speak. All kind of different speakers used to come and speak. So people were trying to, educate the community and advance our development as a people. So, Anyway, going back, I also worked with, but I used to attend Brother Minka's education programs in Brixton at the Abeng. Because they were the Black Unity and Freedom Party.
But the Black Unity
and we used to pick
Party,
it outside Brixton Police Station and Kennington Police Station when the deaths in custody occurred. And certainly after Cherry Gross was shot, we did a lot of picketing. Yes.
So you move on, you did all of that. What did you do next?
So after BAG and so on, I'm trying to remember now because it's such a whole heap of something. 87. I was treasurer and fundraising coordinator for the Marcus Garvey Centenary Committee, which was formed in Birmingham at Beanie's place in 1987. In fact, me and Amelda, people
I spoke to Beanie,
Oh, good.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
How are things?
He was quite emotional when he spoke to me.
Okay.
Sorry, people. Elder Binny, which is somebody that I definitely would want to interview. But he had a stroke the other day. Well, a few weeks ago.
Yes.
He just come out of hospital so I didn't call straight away because the kind of person Elder Binny is, you just know one of them is going to be flooded.
That's right.
So I called his daughter earlier on this week and spoke to her, and she said, he's been out of hospital a couple of weeks now, and we'd like to hear from you and things like that. So I called him and he was quite emotional,
I'm sure.
But he's getting better, getting stronger. At some point I want to be able to go and look for him.
Right.
But it's Birmingham him live.
It's definitely.
But Elder Beanie Brown, every elder.
Let me tell you, I have some films in my house. The other day I was looking at one. It's called Black Britain, 1 to 6. Who in there as a young man? Brother Beanie, Jafta, Yeah, man. Cecil, all of them are talk. Because it's like they were being interviewed.
Like a copy of that, you know.
Yeah, they were being interviewed. Me have a whole heap. Honestly, whole heap. Blacks in Europe. All time. Me have time when we all went outside. You remember Charing Cross police station when them did a try to lock him. Said them I go charge him. A whole heap. Me have a whole heap of video and stuff. I mean, even me. When was it? 2011. Me, Winona, and Sister Valerie, we did the trial of the Ma'afa criminals. We had a big event at Queen Mother Moore Saturday School. Brother Cecil.
What year was that?
2011. Elder Herakuti spoke. Brother Leader Mbandaka spoke, and Sister Winona did because we tried them. And get the community to
I remember that. You know? I remember that. I wasn't there, but I remember that.
I hear we get the community for give past the sentence and pour libation and put it out there to the spirit world to deal with these people. You know, so
you know, Sissy, what kept you going? No, I don't want to do that. I want to talk about what was the first book you wrote.
Oh, the first book was In Praise of Our Ancestors, which is out of print. I'm working on it.
So what made you write that book?
As I was growing in my own political work, I began to write. It's like I had this whole heap of thing to say, so I began to write. And a friend said, you know, you really ought to put that together in a book and get it published. So that was, I was writing poetry about slavery. The first poem I wrote was The Proud African. And then the one about my mother, they took my mama. Race first. Oh, you know, we have so much people that talk about race first. But, you know, them now walk the walk or talk the talk. Them just a talk. It just, you know, it don't mean nothing. A whole heap of different poems. Also, I used to, because by that time we had formed the Universal African Peoples Development Association, which we had hoped would bring together a lot of the community organizations under that banner of the UNIA, but we weren't going to be using the term Negro. We were going to call it the Universal African Peoples Development Association. We used to have every Sunday re-education programs at a community centre in the All Brighton Community Centre in Dulwich.
Yeah.
There was me.
Dock in a hill, innit?
Exactly. There was me. I don't know if you knew Elder Gobbin, Brother Gobbin.
No.
He was a biochemist. He used to help out at Head Start, and he used to do the Marcus Garvey lectures then. He was from the Seychelles. Brother Pay from the PACM. There was Valerie.
So this is mid-80s you're talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, this was the early 90s now that we formed the Universal African Peoples Development Association. Colin Price, who often phones in.
I knew him. Yeah,
he was part
Colin,
of it. Brother Kubara Zumaini, a sister called...
Because I think that's about the time I met you in the early 90s.
Absolutely. Yeah, we also had a women's group at New Initiatives.
That's where I met you.
The Black Women's Movement that we were trying to develop. So, and we organised the...
So you're always in organisations?
In 96, we organised the first In Praise of African Women conference, which was held in Balham at one of the community centres. I was just watching the video the other day. Sister Miami spoke. Sister Affiong Sadi from Moyowa Taifa spoke. There was a brother called Trevor Gordon who spoke about the exclusion of young black children. Yeah. All of these things may have video.
But hold on a second. Let me take you back. Because Moy Taifa, you did a bit of work with them. When was that? And what was
97 we started that at the CM365 Brixton Road. We used to organise bringing women in to develop political activism. So the aim was to do again.
That was Sister
Njiri and
Affiong, innit?
And also Marie Therese, the sister from Angola. So we used to, on Saturdays, bring women. They could bring their children, come along, have discussions. There would be a political presentation looking at what was happening in our communities, what was happening across the world for black people, etc. And, mobilizing women because, often you hear the claims say, well, women get left out, women never get written about. The truth is, if you want something done, you better get it done yourself. So, get out there. We have power. We need to get out there and be part of the organising and doing part of the work.
So, you say you're a mother. So where you did have time for
I'll tell you.
Because I tell you, all this activism work you are doing, Sister Nzinga, where you have time for go make baby?
Well, we also had the Slave Babies campaign. I don't know if you know about the Slave Babies campaign.
I know about that.
In 95,
I know about
when the Blue Mountain Theatre wanted to show this disgraceful...
Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
Black people in a very dysfunctional way.
Yeah.
I mean, that took up my whole week. We was outside. I used to drop my bag, come from work, because I was working as a nurse manager, drop my bag, feed my children, and gone up a Bloomsbury Theatre for going help with the picketing and the demonstration.
But hold on, let's stop there, because I want to know, the children them come.
Well, I had my daughter...
first of all, how many children have you got?
I've got two. My daughter was born in 1971 in the middle of my nurse's training. And then my son was born in 1974. And I got married that same year.
That was after your nurse's training.
Exactly.
So you're going with something while you're in the nurse's training.
Exactly.
And then you're going with something after.
Well, there you go. And they're big people now. I mean, they're probably nearer. My daughter will be... she was 49 last month. And my son is 3 years younger.
See.
So I have 6 grandchildren.
So them are going. Them just have gone a bit more rapid.
My son, he's got 4 children. 2 of them I'm very close touch with. In fact, I give them a lot of support. And this is something I'd like to use this forum to speak to. Is for grandparents to make sure and keep an eye on their grandchildren. Don't be distant from them. Help them if you can. I mean, I do a lot for them. A whole heap. And I believe it's our responsibility, because if we're not going to do it, when they go to pieces out there, well, don't be complaining.
It's true. Me of course have my grandson there, they come on my yard, come take the whole of my t-shirt them. and go with them. I
mean, from them little I've been paying them phone bill. I paid 2 phone bill every month out of my pension. And if them need anything,
me not pay them phone bill though,
Well, I do, and the reason I do it is because I know why I do it. It needs to be done.
Them mama and papa pay it, yes, sir.
That's if they're capable. My son gone. Who know where I'm there?
Oh, you don't know where your son there?
Listen, he decided say him need some people when I look like we. And gone up a hole. Me never know where hole there.
Yeah. The whole way up north.
Right. Abandoned his responsibilities. Well, make him stay up there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, fire for that then, for that, my David. So then you had your 2 children, and you still managed to do all that.
I'll be honest, I was the parent governor. I was chairperson for the Parent Teachers Association when my children were little. I was also the secretary and treasurer to it over the years. And,
So while you were doing that type of stuff, obviously, you looked out for other African people's well-being, innit?
Exactly. Well, that was also the purpose of joining those groups, was to try and bring in our people, because one thing you can't do is just low up your picnic them in a school and not be in there knowing what's going on and keeping an eye on what the teacher them doing, And I have to say that being a parent governor assisted my son greatly, because he was a real troublemaker in school. And because I was involved in the school, they would always send and call me. So it wasn't them just pitch him out, and on many occasions, because the head teacher knew me and the teachers knew me, and I was able to diffuse situations. So, let's be involved. Don't send our children into these places and just load them up.
But I mean, with the all these different legislations that come, they're trying to keep parents outside of school.
The truth is, as my father, listen, I remember, one time when my brother was 16, I'm the youngest to come up from Jamaica. My brother was 16 or 15. And I don't know what my dad did tell him about go out. So him go out and go would do whatever I did I do. So my dad hold him up and grab him up and must beat him and lick him. Throw him off in the police.
I'm not taking any calls at the moment, people. So you just have to wait. You just hold on. I'm gonna open up the phone line soon, and you can ask Sister Nzinga questions. But just hold on. Go on, sis.
So I'm go for the police. So the policeman come and I tell my father about all the law and how it go and blah. So the policeman getting ready now for leave. So my dad turned to him and said, "So you're taking him with you?" So the policeman looking at my dad quizzically like, say, "What is it you're talking about?" So my dad said, "Well, if you're not taking him with you, when him come back in here, him coming under my jurisdiction." So we need to not be frightened of these people. Them can't do nothing. More than we then do we already.
Sure.
Yeah? Oh. If we not turn up for our children, who won't turn up for them?
So you wrote that book of poems.
That's right.
But then you wrote the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
That came out of the Marcus Garvey Centenary. We had the Centenary Committee. We had a massive conference in Manchester in the October of 1980, not October, sorry, May of 1987 at Elder Berry. Brother Berry was his name. He has a community centre in Manchester, and we had the conference there looking at Garvey and his work and impact. And I was asked to speak about the women in the Garvey movement. At that time, we never even did know any woman in the Garvey movement, because all we ever heard about was Marcus Garvey. So then I began to get together documentation and do my research, and also Dr. Gobbin, who I mentioned earlier, also assisted greatly, because he had, through his PhD, he had access to a lot of documents at the British Library and those other big places, which I never even did know exist at the time. So anyway, bringing together all of that information, I did the talk in Tottenham. I can't remember the...
But you didn't write the book then, did you?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It came out of...
I remember it was in
that
the 90s you
work,
wrote that book.
Exactly. Yeah. That gathering of all of that information. And then in... I think it's about... the book was published in 2008. So although I'd been gathering information and learning more about the women, it wasn't until in the 2005, I think, I began to put it together. And it became a book, obviously.
So when you're putting together that information, let me just read out something. A WhatsApp is coming. It says... I met Queen Nzinga and Sata in Broadway in spring 2007, in which we in the same car making our way to Birmingham, where I listened to how passionate she was about liberation. She called me a year later to say she wanted to buy 10 copies of my rap CD to give to members of our family. I had never had anyone who had supported me in that kind of way. She is a true example of Ujamaa without question. I remember seeing Queen Nzinga Asata at Mama Hat Centre having a book table and buying women in the Garvey movement and Garvey and Garveyism. It was important to me to show reciprocity to this amazing elder for what she did for me. Her daughter is just as supportive with my mind over body chess tournaments. Queen Nzinga and her daughter both supported our children in the car tournament of 2017 at Clapham Library. Queen Nzinga is a true example who supported and loved to see others within our community doing the work and supporting those in their success. The respect I have for Queen Nzinga Asata is very, very high. When I think of a Queen elder who is a Gavia, no woman compares to our esteemed elder, Queen Nzinga Asata. Thank you for all you have done for us and continue to do for us. O Tepsiba Amoso.
Thank you, Brother Gallant.
No, it's a Muslim name now, you know.
Sorry?
Amoso. Yeah, Amoso.
That.
Gallant was his rap name.
Original.
But it's Amoso. That's a beautiful text. Yes, Sibo.
And tell him thank you.
And I'll be interviewing him on the show as well.
Nice.
I
remember meeting him and saying to him I was going to support his work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, enough talent. Great interview, Kwaku. Great sister. Thank you. Rise up. Finally, someone talks the truth on mainstream to talk the truth about the biggest illusion of really. This is somebody.
Something else.
That's something. Right. So listen. This is the WhatsApp and text number. It's +44 if you're abroad. If you're not abroad, it's 07377920703. The live link number. So the phones are. I'm just going to talk to Sis about another 10 minutes about our book. Then I'm going to open up the lines and you can call in. You can ask her any questions or anything like that. 0207-193-0174. That's +44 if you're abroad. I'm tuning in after the Facebook. You want to have, it's a Skype number, so it's free, it's free. +44. Drop the 0207 193-0174. We're speaking to Queen Nzinga Asata. Why did you choose the name Nzinga?
I chose Nzinga. Somebody gave me, the little book. There's a little book about Nzinga's life. And I thought this was a great warrior woman. And I would like to have a name that reflected that. So I was at Santewa, because you remember all them places they're gone now. Santewa at Chippenham Mills. And Brother Tayo, the leader of the Osero Set Society, I was saying to him that I like the name Nzinga. And I wanted to have it, but I understand you have to have a ceremony and blah. And him said, if you're motivated towards that name, then take it. So that was that done. And then, obviously, subsequently learning about Asata Shakur, again, another warrior. So I decided that those were the names that I'd like to have. And I'd like to have that spirit.
And you move in that spirit, sis. So the book, tell us about...
to say also, because I also want to say that in 1987, I went home to Jamaica, having never been there since I was a child. There was like a fire to go and see. I woke up one morning and I thought to myself, I want to go see why my parents left Jamaica to come at this place, to come live. And so I decided, I sold my house and took my children out of school and took them to Jamaica. And
was it in 87?
Yeah. And we went to live there for 1 year. That was the first time. We lived.
No, because you went back again, I remember.
Three times I went back.
Okay.
And so we lived there for 1 year, which was what I really wanted them to see Jamaica and to experience it without it just being a little quick holiday and you're going to look and run, come back. So we did that. So that was great. And then 98, I went home again. That time I worked. I was there for...
so that's when I remember that
a longer period, and worked at the Ministry of Health, downtown Kingston. And I used to organise cultural events at the library, St. Catherine Parish Library, the UDC. The UDC is a community development project for the young people. And, I mean, the children were so amazed when we have a phenomenal library of black books about black people and posters and all so. And so when I set up in the library and some of the teachers used to bring the children, I mean, because the library...
So why did you come back
The
then?
library don't have no book about black people, hardly. So when the children... They were
So how long did you stay there for?
That time I was there for 5 years. I worked for 2 years. And my daughter got very sick in, trying to remember now, 2001. And so that was when I came back that first time. Also, I'll be honest with you, Jamaica, I don't have any people there. And you can become very isolated out there when you don't have any family. So it was also, for me, getting a bit, what's the word?
So what you're saying, like none of your fathers or your mother's siblings and no cousins, nobody don't live there?
One cousin, but she's not she was 95.
So the whole of them left?
They're gone. There may be some there that I don't know, because my father comes from a family of, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there was 10 or 11 of them. But we never grew to know none of them.
Oh, seen.
So if all the older ones would have been dead anyway, but if they had younger children, we wouldn't have known them at all. So they might be there, just that we wouldn't have known them. So obviously I made friends. Gerlin, my friend Gerlin, who I met at the Garvey Centenary Conference, and we used to go out together, and she was a Pan-Africanist as well, but lived in Zimbabwe, Nigeria and other places, set up the first black women's group in Stockwell. And yeah, so, I met people.
I want to ask you a question, sis, because I think it's a question that I missed. You said you got married. When?
1974.
And are you still married?
No, man, we got divorced in 1984.
So it was 10 years?
Yeah.
Come on, get personal. Why you divorced?
We just weren't getting on at all. My husband wanted to do as him please and come. They were all over the place. And I wasn't having any of it.
Oh, it's one of those.
We grew apart, to be honest. I think sometimes we need to be careful when we're young, I don't know that we know what it takes to make a good, solid relationship. You can't just pick somebody because you like them and them like you. There has to be more substance than that, because it's not easy to compromise and to, what's the word?
Was he Afrocentric?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, not
so
at all.
He never really... But he must have met, because when he met you, he must have met you like that, innit?
No, man. I wasn't fully Afrocentric at that time. I was evolving.
Oh, so you still have got a rave. You still a rave.
I never used to go to no big rave.
But you look like you the rave, because I see a dance from my papa funeral.
No, but I'm a dancer. My mother used to love dancing. It's like an inherent thing in me. We used to go to clubs. I would go to a club, so we went to see Uri, Hammersmith Palais, them kind of thing. But house parties and that wasn't my kind of thing.
So you used to go bouncing ball?
I've never heard of that place.
No?
No, sir.
So what clubs you used to go then?
Not that many, to be honest. I was very much a family person until the 80s, when I became politically aware that something did wrong and that the world now treat black people good. So then I became a radical. Me and my children used to go to Sunday school with my dad. Me pull them out straight away and say, then I'll go back and send them to Queen Mother Moore Saturday school. And so my parents was vexed with me in that regard. I mean, my mother used to tell my children, say, I'm mad, me mad, and then nothing take no notice of me.
Well, see, this is what you have it. But this is the thing, sis. So you took your children out, you send them to Queen Mother Moore. That's a sad thing that ends up Queen Mother Moore, though, isn't it?
I tell you. But these things happen. You see, in addition, it comes back also, though, to lack of proper planning for the handover of that school to younger people. As older people, we can't just keep on doing the work. We really, really, really have. And the young people need to step up and come forward. When I was young, I'll hear me Ashwood and hear me James Garvey. Young man in them 20s organize political convention and all kind of something. Yeah?
So tell us about that book now.
Yeah, right. So
you the impetus to write that book came from when
Centenary Conference.
The Centenary Conference, when you was asked to give a talk.
About.
So it was, you were forced now to go and research and get and then in that research and finding out information, is that, you know, what happened? What experience did you have? Tell us about that.
It was really seeing how much work had been done by women in this movement, and I'm an activist, and I knew nothing about it, and as did most people at the time. Most people didn't know there was any women in the Garvey movement. I think that was also because, apart from Professor Tony Martin's books, nobody was talking about the work that any of the women had done. And so for me, that was almost a revelation. And I mean, there are phenomenal women in that movement. You know, women, the two Garvey wives, Ashwood and Jakes Garvey, I mean, their life stories need a book in its own. I mean, obviously, we've got Professor Tony Martin's book. But I actually think he did Amy Ashwood a great disservice in that book. And I think he also did himself a disservice. Because most people who I've spoken to find the way he wrote that book about that great warrior woman and her contribution, it's not right. And I know Sister Affiong, well, she is incensed by it. But coming back, and I mean, Amy Jakes Garvey, she's one of the most remarkable women. There's a book called The Black Scholar. It's a magazine where they describe her as one of the most remarkable women in our history. Henrietta Vinton Davis, she was an organizer of the movement, gave up her teaching job to come and join the Garvey movement, and did phenomenal work organizing new chapters across Latin American parts, like Colombia and Costa Rica and places like that, Panama. I mean, their work is just a phenomena in its own right. One of the Mitty Maud Gordon, after Garvey was deported back to Jamaica, she launched a Back to Africa movement in America, which I didn't find out until the other day. Shaka Ra recommended a book to me called Set the World on Fire by a sister called Keisha N. Blaine. And the book highlights all the nationalist women who stepped forward after Garvey's organisation began to decline to champion the cause of going back to Africa. There was a bill to get people back to Liberia and Sierra Leone and other parts. So all of these things, women, and many of them were women from the Garvey movement, you know, who continued that work.
So while you're researching and you're seeing all this, what's going through your mind?
Well, the main thing was, how is it that we don't know these things? Because for me, scholars have been writing, but even if you look at the books by Robert Hill and Rupert Lewis about Garvey, there's very little mention in any of the books about the work of the women. And at least 50% of the Garvey organisation of 6 million members were women.
So are you going to reprint that book?
I still have it. It's still being sold. There's copies in the archives. I usually now give it to individual people to sell.
So how can people get a copy of that?
They can contact Sister Nzinga at anzinga@hotmail.com. That's ANZINGHA @hotmail.com. Now, the archives has copies, but obviously at the moment it's working its way back in. It's just been reopened week before last, and so it's working its way back to selling in the bookshop. The bookshop's not open at the moment.
So how long did it take you to write that book?
Oh, wow, a couple of years. Well, because I'd already had, as I say, a lot of the information and the research that I had already got, but it was a case of getting down to it and sitting down and because you have to get very disciplined if you're going to write something, because it's not easy. It's hard work, and it takes a lot of time.
So it took you a couple of years.
It did indeed.
Were there moments when you think, "Sure, man, I made this thing"?
I mean, I'm like this. I have a very active mind, so just sitting down and doing a whole heap of writing isn't really me. So sometimes you just do a little bit. The important thing is to do a little bit each time you get the impetus. Do a little bit. Eventually, you'll get there. So yeah. And I've also done a poster. Now there's a Women in the Garvey Movement poster as well, available again at the archives and through myself. Sister Maremi, who sells at the New Covent Garden Market, she also has copies of the book for sale. So, and it's also available in Jamaica at Sangster's bookstore.
Right. So you write the book. What happened after you wrote the book?
I launched it at Queen Mother Moore Saturday School in 2008, and also on CVM TV. There's a video, a short video of me on YouTube launching it on CVM TV in Jamaica, and also on IRI FM. Sister Kabu Mahat Heru, who runs the Running African program on Sunday mornings in Jamaica. I often used to speak on her program, and so again did a radio launch there.
Did it sell well?
It sold well in Jamaica, yeah. Sangsters, if I'm not mistaken, I would say at least well over 100 copies Sangsters took, and they went very quickly.
Well, here we have one of our living unsung heroes, Sister Nzinga, inside the Galaxy studio, inside the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show. So then you end up at Black Archives. How did that happen?
When the archives actually, because I knew Len Garrison quite well from his work at ASA, African Caribbean Resource Centre, Wyville Road, which is just off Wandsworth Road. And
he's gone now. Len
long time. He died little after we came back from Barbados.
After we came back from Barbados,
exactly.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But
he didn't vote with us, though, did he?
Oh, did you not?
No, he didn't. He didn't vote.
I didn't know that.
He abstained from voting.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
That's his, we're not all the same. So I'm not going to chastise him, because when he was alive, he did work. Same way. It may not be nationalist work, but he did work. And he created quite a lot of stuff around racist practice in schools from ASA, the African Caribbean Resource Base. Anyway, then when Black Cultural Archives moved, you remember when they closed it down?
When it was Cold Harbour Lane.
Exactly. When it was in Cold Harbour Lane, I used to go there regularly.
I think we all used to go there.
Exactly.
Because Timbuktu was in there, isn't it?
Exactly, Timbuktu, that's right. And then
Ajani. You ever see Ajani?
I've never ever seen him since that place closed. No, so
don't know what happened to him, but go on.
No, I don't know either. But coming back, so when it opened in Brixton, I actually started to make a donation to it, and was invited to the launch, and it opened, and met some other women that were involved in the work there, and I just joined it and became one of the fundraising friends for that work.
So what type of fundraising do they need? I thought they'd get a big grant.
When they started out, they got a big grant, as you know. Anytime they must start anything, but it's the maintenance that tends to, because as you're coming towards the end of the big grant, you have to find some of the money yourself. So what we do is we encourage people to come on board and sign up and become a paid-up friend as well. I also organise...
So what do they get for being a paid-up friend?
You get discount when they had the restaurant there and the shop. You get discount for anything that you buy in there. Any books that are sold in the shop, or posters or whatever, artifacts, you get a discount on that. You get free admission to any exhibitions, and you're often invited to other external activities. So like when James Baldwin's film Beale Street came out, we were invited to the Savoy Hotel to meet the actors and to actually see the film before it was
the premiere of it.
So those kind of things, friends are invited to, paid-up friends are invited to.
And
you also get...
And what do you have to do to be a paid-up friend?
Oh, you can go online if you wanted to and decide what level of membership. There's £30, £45 for joint membership per year, £100, blah, and you can decide and sign up.
And how's it going at the Black Archives?
Well, to be honest, it hasn't been open since March, clearly. We had a major crisis, not last year before last, before the reorganisation, where we nearly lost it. And, I mean, okay,
Is Paul Reed there?
Paul, what's the word they call it when they reorganise? And so, yeah, because, I mean, I don't know the politics of how that came about, but he was not kept on as the director of the archives.
You're in tune to Newburn Forum People's Talk Show, live here on GalaxyFreeway.com. Yes, a big up Kaya, Conscious Ken, and Devan, Dulani Woltai, Zebi, Zion Africa, Natasha, Rasta L, Caroline, big up yourself every time. Sibo, Sessa Waban, Marlene McLean, Angela Nash, Maya Matana, Marcus Simmons, big up yourself every time. David Campbell. These are all the people that I watch upon the Facebook. Right, now, if you got a question that you would like to ask Sister Nzinga, now is your time. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm getting tired. Oh, sorry, I had a long day. Went to a funeral and everything like that today. So, I had a long day taking some photographs at a funeral. So, the number is +44. If you're abroad, drop the next 0207 193 0174. Alternative, I would look for one. I would have text for one there. You can send a text or you can send a WhatsApp on +44. Drop the next 0 if you're abroad. 0737 792 0703. Yeah, I know people was calling earlier. I turned down the thing so people couldn't hear the ring, but feel free. You can ring in now. You can ask a question, etc. Queen Nzinga. Bringing you up to date now with what you're doing. There's a image going around on social media, and in fact, look, there it is right there, of a Chinese man that's been made a chief in Ghana. Now, we've seen this phenomenon before. We've seen white people being made chiefs in Ghana and in different African countries. But they got black people carrying this Chinese man.
Yeah, but Brother Kwaku, you know that's just a reflection of that continued mental enslavement. Yeah? I mean, look, I just don't know what it is that's going to make
Hold on, caller.
the mass of our people wake up. I mean, why would you do that if you were in your right mind? So clearly they're not in their
We
right
need
mind.
to know which part of Ghana it is. We need to know who is the royal house around there. Did I speak to any royal house? That's a Chinese man. Yes, caller. What's the name where you're calling from?
Out of Kwaku, Eva. Greetings, Sister Inzinga.
Greetings.
Yeah,
Brilliant show, Kwaku. I've been listening, and I always admire Queen Inzinga. We always seem to talk anytime we see each other, whether it's on the bus or recreation or anywhere we collaborate. Like we always hold an African inspiration talk. My question to Queen Inzinga: what inspired you to write the book? What inspired you to write the book? That is my question to you.
Okay.
And I'll stay on the line and listen to you. And secondly, I would like to know: have you, even though you lived in Jamaica for a period of time, you came back. I think we discussed this on numerous occasions on the bus. Have you ever visited Mama Africa at any time?
Okay.
To carry out the Garvey hikes. I'll leave it as that. And I said, great show, and good to have you on the Galaxy Forum. Bless up.
Thank you.
Hotel.
Okay, greetings. Just to say, yes, I have been to Ghana. I spent 4 weeks in Ghana. That's quite a while ago. And also myself and Sister Winona, we did visit Kenya. We were supposed to be going to Kenya to a Pan-African Congress that one of the American organizations was having. But I'll be honest with you, when we got there, they actually didn't follow through with the conference, which was a big disappointment, but that's another story. So in Kenya, we met up with some of the activists there, and they came and took us around to some of the different cultural activities that were going on in Kenya at that time. In terms of work on Garveyism there, no, I haven't done. I mean, I've obviously interacted with other activists in those areas, but to be honest, a lot of them don't actually know very much about Garvey. So you're actually bringing something new to them because they have, if you like, their own political issues that they're dealing with. The group that we met with in Kenya, they're working to try and support a lot of the slum areas in Kenya. There are a lot of slum areas where children have no, there's just like a concrete structure that they live in. So those are some of the things that we worked with. When Win and I came back, we did some fundraising to put a roof on a slab that was being created as a school for abandoned children. Coming back then to the book, I think I did say earlier that the reason I came to write the book was because when I was one of the executive members of the Garvey Centenary Committee, I didn't even know, as an activist, how many women had been involved in helping the growth and development of the Garvey movement, and what roles they had played in it. And so it was that research into looking at who were these women, where did they come from, what role did they play in the movement, that led to me putting that together to create the book Women in the Garvey Movement.
Oh, brilliant. So comparing to you said you've been to Ghana. How long did you spend in Ghana?
4 weeks.
That's 4 weeks. And how long did you spend in Kenya?
Kenya was just 2 weeks.
How would you compare it in terms of Ghana and Kenya? You know, we know that Ghana is west and Kenya is east. How would you compare the two?
I wouldn't compare them, to be honest. In terms of, as you say, one is in the east and one is in the west. The issues that face our people there are very similar, though, because when I was in Ghana, I had a lot of run-in with the people about the white Jesus that was in their vans and in their homes and in
the market.
Well, I went to the people that I was staying with. A brother called Ya and his wife. Sister Affiong introduced me to them. Ya, Yaa.
Yeah.
The brother name Ya.
Yeah.
You can't name Ya. Ya is a woman name. It must be Yao. It's Thursday born. Born on a Thursday. It's Yao.
I won't argue because I may have forgotten. Okay.
Yeah.
So he took me he had to pick up some glasses, and we were going to visit a brother and his wife who had come from England and set up a school way in the bushes in Ghana. And we stopped at the pharmacy to pick up his glasses. And they had this massive, it was like a big mirror, the massive picture of the white Jesus. So I was asking the pharmacist why they had to have this image there.
I know you're there, brother Ade. Just hold on.
Yeah.
Let sister finish.
And if they didn't see anything wrong with that. And we got into such a big debate that in the end, I really had to raise my voice and tell them that it was bad and it was mental slavery and blah. By this time now, the whole place closed down. Everybody run comfy here, wagwan. So, we had a big debate about that. And then when I came back, I sent them some of the documentation on the African origins of religion and things like that. So these are some of the problems. A similar problem in Kenya. I went to a meeting with some of the people because we were going to look at how we could assist them with support for the street children. And in the meeting room was the white Virgin Mary, the white Christ on the wall and everything. So I told them I'm not meeting in that room. And I explained to them why these things are damaging to our minds as an African people. And I'm not sitting in a room with these things there. And I left.
Good. I mean, there's more questions I would love to ask you, but obviously I'm going to give other people a chance.
I'm sure you have the answers to many of the questions yourself.
Yes, I do, and it would be good to to find out more. But obviously, I'm going to give other people a chance to phone. I don't want to kind of hang up the line.
No worries.
But it's good. It's good to know that you're there and you're giving a brilliant interview. I totally enjoy it. It's fruitful, and I just want to wish you and all the best and continue the great work of the great Marcus Garvey.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, brother Ade.
Are you there? You good?
Yeah, Otep. You have to speak up louder, brother. Can't hear you.
You're good. You're good.
Yes.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the lady that was saying about the having why Jesus Christ. Yes, this is what I found. The problem with this is black people in general. I mean, you'd expect them to know better. That none of these God, got anything to do with them.
Just barely.
I'm back home now, phoning you from home, so, I mean, it's just a novelty, I relax in many, many ways, watching something that was like, he said, no, he said, no, because we're all Africans, we have our own religious beliefs, our own ethics. In the Yoruba, I could mention Babalawo, I could mention Olodumare, I could mention Shango, I could mention, I could go on. No.
Absolutely.
So we have many, specific gods. I could only speak for my terms. I mean, it's problematic. Yes, it is. I mean, they just have to, as the ladies there is trying to get into the mindset of the people and tell them that is not the way to go because it sort of blights your progress.
That's true. Very true.
I mean, I'm looking at you. I'm looking on the positive side. I couldn't enable you to phone you almost 5,000 miles away, right now. I mean, because the time is equal. It doesn't really matter. It's all about, technologies have to communicate with each other. I mean, I mean, Brother Kwaku, Galaxy's on Skype. I phone through Skype.
Yes.
My BT network, and I can phone you on the free. It's free.
Yes.
You know, it's free. What I did is, communication is very, 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 very important. You know.
I agree.
So, you know, I mean, we're so laid back where I am. You know, we're very laid back. You know.
I think that we're affected by that all over the world, my brother.
You know, there's many. I mean, when we come to our continent, there's many things. Those of us who are in the position, there's many things we could participate. We play golf, you know, go swimming, you know, fishing, you know, go foraging in the forest. You know, I've been, you know, since I've been here, Brother Kwaku, 2 weeks almost. You know, this is what I do, you know, just to relax my mind.
Where are you exactly?
Get my mind off God, the people that don't do like me. People never.
No, what, Brother Ade, where are you exactly?
I'm in Aja, in Lagos.
Oh, you're in Lagos. Oh, you're down Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you make the people that know about the show in Nigeria, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, well, you know.
You can't hug up the show for yourself, you know. We are dealing with Ade, man. Spread the word, man, so we can start a mental revolution.
Yeah, that's how I just finished. One of my daughters who's here with me, we go foraging.
Hold on, 281, just hold on.
You know, it relaxes me. I do, you know, it's activities, you know, take your mind off things that don't necessarily, you know, they do like you, that have no meaning. In fact, it's demeaning, you know, to see everyone else and you were worshipping it. I know, our people are religious, but then sometimes, you know, they have to be aligned, you know, when it's drawn, when we have to refer us back to who we were originally. And I think that's the best way for us to go forward, you know.
What I would say to that, my brother, I don't know if Sis you want to answer that, but what I would say to it is that you can't go back to something if you don't know it ever existed.
Mm-hmm. Very true. That is very true, Brother Kwaku. But you know, rather than being downhearted, what the brother can do is, as Brother Kwaku has said, introduce the station to other people. And, I mean, maybe even one or two you could invite to come and listen with you and have a discussion. I mean, when I first started out political work, we used to meet in each other's front rooms as sisters. We used to meet, buy a book, and then we would all read it and have a discussion and study the book. And in this way, we're going to move people forward.
Yeah, but sister, I mean, back home, I mean, those of us who are directly have linked in Africa, this is why I'm probably in advantageous position to do that, because, you know, I participate in many activities. You know, just to take my wife, go jet skiing in the sea. You know, just basically relax. You know, the part of Lagos that we're very laid back people. We don't, you know. Particularly, I mean, everybody, they've heard of Galaxy. Yes, they know who Galaxy is. You know, it's not a place that you directly need to publicize. But then again, as you say...
No, you have to publicize it, King.
Exactly.
Ade, there's a move to silence the philosophical standpoint that Galaxy makes. And not just us and Galaxy, but African people globally. Mm. And, you know... If you're getting something out of this, listen to the various presenters on the show, then other people will get something out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And it's about us spreading the word so that when we organize ourselves in a certain way, that we're moving on the same paradigm. You understand me?
Yeah.
And share the knowledge.
And share the knowledge. Yeah, share the information. You can't argue it up for yourself, man. How you deal with?
Well, I think it's, is it Fanny Luhama told us, each one must reach one and each one must teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know, that is the norm.
So that's your job now, Brother Ade, to reach one and to teach one.
All right, Brother Ade, we've got another caller on the line. Hold on there, Brother Ade. Next caller, who is it?
Yes, hold up. Well, hold up. Hold up, Brother Ade, Brother Jeff.
My brother Jeff.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Greetings to Sister Wazinga.
Greetings.
Sister, please. Sister, my greetings, my sister. Greetings to you, sister. Sister, I used to smell it. Back in the day, there was a shop called the Book Place. And,
in Peckham.
Peckham.
Yeah, we used to have women's group sessions in there with Sister Judy.
My sister, that's Brother Simon Chef. We used to meet, I see you, I used to meet you all the time. Every Saturday, we used to meet up sessions there. It was great to see you because I recognize your voice because last time I saw it was 5 days ago in Sainsbury's.
Oh, okay.
And, we were chatting there. And this is Brother Jeff. Yeah, how are you, sister? I was greeting you. Thank you for your great service because every time with me, you always talk fantastic about Africa. Your contribution is more appreciated. So I was going to give you a call, let you know how much you're appreciated by ourselves and the community. You know what I mean? And keep up the good work. You know what I mean? Because I thought I'd just let you know. I thought, regards your voice. So I thought I'd just keep up, just give a reminder. You know,
nice.
How much you're appreciated. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Just echo Brother Addis and Kwaku said. You're a Shiro. You're your unsung Shiro. It's that time that I feel you appreciate it more.
Thank you.
You don't hear you enough, in my opinion. But you don't come on enough in Galaxy.
Thank you very much. I do feel appreciated in the community. I'll be honest. I'm going to say I certainly have had a lot of regard from the members of the community, and particularly Alkebulan revivalist movement. I remember them having a dinner for myself and Sister Amitai.
Your sister Amitai.
Yeah, so I do feel appreciated by the community. I really do.
Well, me not appreciate you, you know. I appreciate love you.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yeah. But yeah, so that's
And thank you for remembering me.
But thank you. I'll get off line now. I'll maybe call again. I'll even get home because it's tired. You've been up all day, man. So I'll leave you in peace.
Well, I'm done in the show at 12. There's definitely, I ain't hanging about till after that. So anybody want to ask Queen Nzinga any questions, you best call now. You understand me? Big up yourself, Brother Jeff.
One love.
Thank you, sister.
Brother Ade, any more questions, Brother Ade?
Well, not really. I mean,
what's the time in Nigeria?
Sorry?
What's the time out there now?
It's equal. It's the same time. We just go quarter back.
Yeah, it's the same time as
is
England. Yeah, because Affion is out there. You know, she lives there.
I thought she lived in Ghana.
No, she's moved to...
she moved back to Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Okay.
It's equal. It's the same time, brother.
So, Brother Ade, how did you find out about the radio station out there then?
Well, what even I did that found out? I knew from Galaxy while I was in London. So,
So you've moved back to Nigeria for good then?
Yeah, some broadband, any broadband. My village, the technology is pretty good in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
The money is being invested properly. We have no problem communicating. I can phone America anywhere in America. It doesn't cost me hardly anything. It's just plan with BT, link with BT. One thing I want to say to our people: we should go Vodafone or EE, the network. As you know, Brother Kwaku, I'm not so sure if you're aware. It's actually powered by BT, so the call should be free if you're phoning from the continent. Yes. I know it applies to West Africa. I don't know about the other. I know Southern Africa, which is more Southern Hemisphere. The cost is a lot more, but it's free. So and so.
When we did leave EE, me left them because them not give me nothing what me they want, so me left them.
Okay.
Well, but the secret there is a secret that because they're part of the BT, and if you have the use British broadband, BT broadband, so you'll be able to access, free through Skype, and because Galaxy is a Skype number. And once you dial the 0207,
I thought Skype was free anyway.
Skype is free on the internet.
The code is 00, from Nigeria, Lagos itself, and 23 something, 234. Different islands, different codes,
So what's the latest happening in Nigeria now?
Sorry?
What's the latest happening in Nigeria?
Can you repeat that?
What is the latest that is happening in Nigeria?
Just the same old thing. Just the part of Lagos is too far for me. It's too fast, The part where we're really laid back. Rather than coastal, we will go some 40, 50 miles away. So, You know, Brother Kwaku, I mean, yeah, we have to take advantage of enjoying our continent if we're in the position to, you know. I mean, many ways you could reach, you know, explore your own mind and explore other people's mind. As the lady's saying there, as you've been saying, you know, the message. But people do, in my town, in the village, they know about Galaxy. You know, that is not the problem. You know, they know about it. Because they asked me the other day what station was I talking to. And I said it was a station in London, which is based in Peckham. And there's some people who live in Peckham, they were asking me, and I said, Schumann Road. They don't know what Schumann Road is, you know. These are people who lived in the South London area, and they're back home now. So they're aware of where Peckham is. So, you know.
All right, then, Brother Ade. Give thanks for that, my brother.
Okay, thank you, Brother Kwaku. And thank you for the...
Odabo.
Okay, thank you.
Odabo. Salafia. Dadane. Yeah. +44 if you're abroad, and like what Brother Ade says, it's free. It's Skype. Yeah, 0207-193-0174, or text and WhatsApp on 073-7792-0703. I think the phone is dead, you know, because I can't. Oh, okay. Yeah, but where the phone? I don't know it.
I'm not too sure.
Hold on, see it here.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if me have any text here, because I couldn't find the phone before. And all right. There's 2 messages. It says here.
Okay.
Okay. What does it say? Hold on there. Where's that going right now? All right. Let's see here. Oh, it says, beautiful poetry by Sis Nzinga, very deep. And that's come from 961. Oh. That's when you did the poetry.
Yeah.
So this come long time. Yeah, that was the only text that we got there, Sis.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, that was the only one that came in, mate.
No, that poem, wherever I
recite it,
use it, people always have a deep connection to it, because and people have experienced similar things, not the same, but similar things in their families. You know, this hatred of your own skin people. It's ridiculous. We need to really grow up now and stop this nonsense.
Well, in your opinion, then, Sister Nzinga, you know, in the years that you've been on the road of liberation, I mean, you've seen a lot of change. You've been here from the 50s. Mm-hmm. We're now in 2020. In terms of the African global movement for liberation, what changes have you seen, for the good or for the bad?
I think there's. I think more people are aware and more people have woken up. So when you're having events, you're having much more people coming out to support and celebrate. But it's got to be more than celebrate. So it's about people taking on work, whatever the whether it's the reparations movement, linking up to form global African organisations. People have got to be willing to be part of it. Otherwise, it's not going to grow, and we're not going to have that international power that is required to overthrow the exploiters and oppressors of our people.
And this is one of the things that I've noticed in my little time in the show. I haven't been on the road as long as you, but there's a kind of apathy.
More so amongst the young people.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody seems to think so everything can do by internet and Instagram and Snapchat and what. And the truth is, it can't happen like that, because for a start, you wouldn't want your business out there for everybody to know about it if you're planning anything serious anyway. So people have got to be willing to come on board and join organisations and be part of that work. Yeah,
because, you know, this is something that's dear to my heart. You know, we set up a project in Ghana.
I remember you telling me.
You know, the Garvey Town project, which is a community project.
I understand.
It can only function if the community get involved. It's got to be built by the community, for the community, with the community's help.
I understand.
And, you know, we've had a few people come over there over the years, and they've looked, and then they just go somewhere else. They go somewhere else, buy another piece of land, and they're getting problems out there. Then they want Garadina to come and help them, and all the rest of it. You know, it's almost like our people, we have something against trying to work together, trying to build together.
I was saying the same thing to, you know, Brother Kwaku from British Black Music?
No,
the Ghanaian brother.
I don't know him.
Oh, okay. And Minka and Brother Shamari, we were all on a Zoom meeting just before Garvey's birthday, looking at how we can work closer together, everybody. And that was one of the things that I raised at the start, because we keep on starting something new without looking at what are the real issues, what are the problems, why can't we build anything long-lasting and constructive? There has to be a reason why that's not happening. When you look at Garvey's organisation from 1914 to its heyday, to great 6 million members, and to have branches all over the entire world, your own newspaper, your own shipping corporation, at a time when no mobile phone never there, and no internet never there. So I actually believe that, I don't know whether it will be taken on board, that maybe we need to have a study looking at what are the issues, and for people to be honest and upfront, what is it that is preventing the working together that we constantly talk about?
Well, sis, I know one thing that prevents us from working together is the religion indoctrination of our people.
Well, that is, that one goes without saying, to be honest.
Who's into Christianity, those who's into Islam. I have to say, sis, you ask a question, and I'm sure as hell know that that's one of them.
Absolutely. No, well, we know that is a major obstacle. But then what we need to look at is, how do we work with that for the change that we know needs to happen?
Well, the thing about the study of the Garvey movement, Garvey had all kind of Africans in there.
Exactly.
Muslim and Christian.
Absolutely.
And I asked that same question to myself many years ago. When I look at it from my analytical point of view, most black people in the time of Garvey were not suffer. The majority was suffering.
Absolutely, which is another major reason why the organisation was fulfilling a need that they had at the time. And as we've moved away from that, because the book I spoke about that Shaka Ra had recommended to me, Set the World on Fire, by Keisha N. Blaine, it shows you how, at that time, there was a lot of movements to go back to Africa. Yeah? And now, there's hardly any movements. There's a few.
Well, there's a lot of people going back to Africa, but they're not going back as part of a movement.
Anything.
A lot of our people are going back to... If we can't... Look, some people, them work here for, 30 years or something like that. Them have a nice pension. But they can't live the type of life they want to live here.
Absolutely.
But they know they can go to Africa.
And do it. Absolutely.
It's going to cost them... The kind of life they could live there is the life they want to live here, but they can't afford it here.
Exactly.
So they go there with the same kind of Eurocentric mentality.
Absolutely.
The big old 10-bedroom yard. Them now, nobody are living there. One them and them two
it's
children.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
You know what I mean? And that type of stuff.
It's a problem in Jamaica. I mean, some mansion, you would have think a hotel. It's crazy.
It's madness. And so, sorry for using people, my apologies. But I feel that's one of the issues, sis, that we have to find a way to get across. You understand?
I do agree.
To get over.
I support that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, Malcolm
but
said it.
everywhere you go, it's the same problem because, I mean, even the youth club. Now, the youth club, they were going to close it down a few years back, probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. And as I say, it's a majority African young people that attend it. It's led by an African sister, and most of the workers are African youth workers. And the local councillor, my good friend Joan, got me on board because she said, it's over our dead body, them I go close it down. So, I got on board and we tried to drum up some people. It's like, even the parents of the children, can we get them to come on board? It's like trying to get blood out of a stone, trying to get them to come and provide the support for the youth club. It has to have a management committee and all the rest of it, bank accounts to be managed, a bit of fundraising to be done. You could write to them till you're dead. And these are their children.
Well, but maybe they don't see that as an important factor in the community. And I think youth clubs, when I was growing up, they were a very important factor in our community.
Well, the young people find it very important. They have big attendances. They have children coming from, although it's in Merton, children come from Croydon or Bolt and Lambeth and attend the youth club. So
and that's good. That's good, sis, because the fact that you got children come from different eras meeting other children, it shows that they're not your enemies.
Absolutely, and I mean they take them to like a camp type thing where they rent a place and take them away. And Sister Carol, who runs it, I mean, she always makes sure they understand their history and knowledge. And I've given them posters. Then I've got Black History posters, my own posters.
Wait, is that place in Pollard's Hill?
Pollard's Hill, exactly.
I know the sister.
Oh, okay.
I know. Funny enough, when I was working with my brethren, my brethren's got a catering company.
Right.
And we had a function in there.
Oh, okay.
In fact, we had 2 functions a day. One in that kind of, I think that place is for like
the community centre.
The community centre.
Because you've got the community centre down there.
Yeah, and then you've got the youth club next door with the big gymnasium.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we had one in there. So we had one in the morning there, in the afternoon, and this other one was in the evening.
Right.
And I saw the sister, but as a sister, me know her for years.
Well, there you go.
Me know her for years, because she tell me, says, yeah, she do want me come down, they come to some talk with the youth, them and things like that.
Okay.
But me never get no call from her still.
Okay.
But I know that
they're busy. They're usually quite busy, and then obviously we had the lockdown. But even, I mean, I had a young brother,
and it would surprise me that the council want to get rid of that place, because that's prime land to go and build on.
To be fair to the council, this was when they were under the austerity, because since the austerity, over the last few years, they've been just continuing their support for the youth club, and they fund it fully, etc. But you see, I come back to parents and relatives, because not only aunties, uncles, cousins. They can come and be members of the youth club. We only meet 6 times a year. It's not no whole heap of, you have to come out of your house every week.
So do you go around to talk to the parents? Do you go to their house? Do you send a letter?
The youth leaders does. We do send a letter. We wrote to them just before the lockdown to ask, what are the things that would make you come on board and become one of the committee members to support the work? Just tell us. And what we were going to do was to organise a social gathering with food and talk, and people can come and say. And then obviously we went into the lockdown. But yeah, it's not easy to get our people to get on board and help with the work.
WhatsApp says, "Greetings, Queen. Like Prophet just said, people come together together in adversity, like this Black Lives Matter. But when the illusion of inclusion comes back, everybody quiet again, and nothing changes."
Well, I support what you're saying, but it comes back almost to also what Kwaku was saying about the religion. When are we going to open our eyes and wake up and see that what we are doing is not moving us forward as a collective people? You know, the church is run up with people, yet still we're having all these problems. So something wrong.
Did any of your brothers and sisters follow your father in the church?
None of us at that. Well, my brother goes to church, but I don't think it's anything deep. So there's no Pastor Bedward's descendant.
Is it dad still alive?
No, they passed away quite a long time ago now. Mum and Dad. Yeah.
You know, Sister Zinga, in your opinion, why do you think that a lot of our people cannot pull themselves away from this Christendom?
I don't even know what is the answer, to be honest with you, Brother Kwaku. You know, when I was much younger, I always worked on which is probably why I always worked so hard and stayed so committed. I always thought that we would wake up and we would really begin to do the things that were good for us as a people. But we just seem to be, in my opinion, we seem to be getting further and further away from that real consciousness where we want to bring change now. Yeah? Because when you talk to, like, even the same youth club, you go in there on a Thursday before the lockdown, and I'm telling you, particularly sisters and brothers from the continent, they're in there making up some whole heap of noise to this God. You can ask Tano Tadu, I hear them. And you don't know what it's for. What is the purpose of it? You know, it's not taking us anywhere. So I don't have an answer.
You see, I think that's a key statement. It's not taking us. What I've discovered with a lot of these little religious doctrines, people think very much about themselves.
Well, this is probably...
So I got a personal relationship with God and He's done this for me, not for us.
Everybody.
Not for we. You understand what I'm saying to you?
I do indeed.
And so I think a lot of people are consumed with materialism.
I think it's also about fear, because I think people seem to think that everything's going to be great when them dead and God is this mythical, as Peter would have said, this mythical heaven in the sky. And I mean, if you open your eyes and look and see, you know you ain't going nowhere in no sky. You know, so it's clearly you want to be mentally enslaved to that belief that you have. Because if you really critically look at it, it's clear that not Nogoso. Not
Nogoso. Got a text here on the Facebook. It said, "Blessing Empress in Zinga." And I got a message here from Gebra. Nana Kwabena Ababiyo Kolonji. Blessings Empress in Zinga.
Blessings to you too.
I first met you years ago at Jed in West London, when I was going through my Born Again stage. Powerful, majestic Empress.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on there. It says, powerful, majestic. Is it powerful, majestic Empress? Ashe.
Ashe to you too. Nice. Thank you for that. Big up.
Otep Caroline. Otep, I so didn't know about this youth club. Yeah.
We'd love to have you on board, Carolyn, if you'd like to come on board.
Yeah. It's right at Pollard where the roundabout is.
That's right.
Where the big roundabout is.
Exactly.
And you can't miss it, really.
No, you can't.
When you're going up,
you've got the library, the community centre, the youth club.
Yeah, library, the community centre, youth club, and then
We've now got a barber. There's a young brother that's got a big barber shop on the corner.
Oh, okay.
Just as you go round the roundabout.
And then the Copper's across the road.
Exactly, and he's got a little eatery where there's a place where they do food as well.
And the thing about it is this. It's right opposite the bus stop.
Exactly, you can't miss it.
You can't miss it.
No,
yeah, you can't miss it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, once things pick up and we're able to open up again, we'll keep trying to see if we can bring people on board. Because you see, if we don't provide anything for the young people and support the things that are there for them, let's stop complaining when them find something to do for themselves. You know, we may not like what them find to do, but in the youth centre, you can bring in people. Inspirational people, because I was going to say I had a young brother called Pedro. He's written a book, Womanhood Unfolding. It's about the way women are treated in society. He's a young brother. He was born in Angola, but his whole family are living here now in West London. And he's written a book, and my granddaughter told me about it. She's a counsellor, and she told me about it. And I invited him through Carol, the youth leader, to come and speak to the young people and bring his books to. I mean, honestly, they were mesmerised, you know, because he's not that much older than them. He's just 29 himself, and he was telling them about the way women are treated, the way he has seen in his life women were treated, and he spoke about his family and the domestic violence and abuse that they grew up with, and the young people were just mesmerised, and you know, it was just such a wonderful gathering. So we can expose young people to all the different things that will inform them and improve their knowledge base in the community, you know. So yeah.
So Nzinga, you're at the youth club, you're at BCA. What else are you doing?
Well, at the moment, I'm also working on reproducing my first book for publishing, and also my granddaughter wants me to write a biography, so trying to work on that.
Biography on who? You,
of
yourself?
Myself.
All right, yeah. Well, you got a lot to write about, sis.
Unfortunately.
No. It's not unfortunately, you know, Sister Nzinga, because the thing about it is this. I
don't mean unfortunately in a negative.
Oh, I know exactly where the
altogether.
I know exactly where the building is. I know the barber shop too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's give some Bless Up King, Conscious Queen. Yeah. Just read out the text, them, you know, because, you know.
No, that's good.
People are sending them little things and make you know, say them are watching all them something.
No, but it's good. And this is also...
Good to see Sister Nzinga. Thank you for sharing.
Greetings, yeah. Because if we don't inform ourselves and educate ourselves, then we're never going to move forward.
You know what, sis? I coined a different phrase. I don't believe in that educating thing. I've just changed it. I just try to change the narrative.
Oh, okay.
If we go to university and places like that, you're getting. Dr. Ben always say you're getting training. That's their education system.
I understand.
But when we start to research and we start to write about and we start to talk about and we start to work for the betterment of our people to reintroduce or revitalize some cultural practices that we had before, to me, we're being Africated.
Absolutely. No, well, I support that.
You know, I use that terminology when I'm talking
Understood.
about the opening up of the minds of our people in terms of the Kepra. As you know, Kepra to born again. Yeah. So for me, sitting here with you this evening, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You know, and I've learned a bit more about you than I knew before. Okay. So you know, this was a beautiful interview. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And to be quite honest, I'm telling you, sis, I'm up early from this morning, a poor libation. And then I'm up early, and then I have this other funeral to go to,
right.
and I had to take the pictures and things like that. And then I went home and then I had to come here. I wanted to sleep actually.
I can imagine.
But I know if I'm gonna lie down now,
You
me nah
won't
make the
get
show. Me nah make the show. You know what I mean? And I know say I come.
I hear you.
So I'm come down here. But believe me, I was tired. But believe me, just listening to you is giving me energy.
Well, thank you.
You know what I mean? And I've got. Well, me always did respect anyway, Sister Nzinga. You don't know that already as an elder.
I do.
You know, I respect your article a long time, and you remind me of the other sister. She used to do poem as well. The short sister that worked for PSCM. She organized the Kwanzaa up Turnpike Lane. She used to organize it in the PSCM.
I can't remember her name.
Short, dark sister.
I mean, well, there's loads. You've got Miami. You've got Sister Asha.
No, it's not Sister Asha. Sister Asha's the one who did the cooking.
Yeah, but her sister Miami.
I think it's her.
Yeah.
Look a short one there.
Oh,
yeah, man, she always talk.
Oh,
yeah, man, she.
Who are we? Africa.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Who are we, Africa? Yeah, I couldn't get her name. Yeah,
Sister Miami.
Sister, well, you remind me of her.
Thank you.
She's
a powerful sister.
Yeah, the energy, the energy. There, see. This says we suffer from cognitive dissonance, Queen.
Yes.
Otep.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, but it's a creative process, isn't it?
It is.
You know what I mean? We're not just that way. People that did what we did throughout the centuries and built the civilizations we did is not cognitive dissonance. You know what I mean?
No, the truth is
that's been implemented.
We have been, as them would have said, brainwashed. Totally and utterly. And
I think we need brainwashing. We're brain dirty.
No, well, whichever way you want to call it, we are in a state of, it's almost like a state of
amnesia.
Learned helplessness. Because we've learned to be helpless in terms of informing ourselves, getting ourselves out of this situation that we find ourselves in. Plenty of us don't want to hear about it. So these are a lot of the issues that we're constantly facing, and it becomes very draining trying to get people to see when they don't want to see.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, sister. I discovered that happened a couple of days ago. I got two brethren them who's got a business. These men have been running business for years. One of them has a food shop called Lone Fisherman.
Oh, it's the brothers in the market.
Yeah, them are two brethren.
Yeah, we signed the petition and they had a little meeting there today with some people.
Yeah, and it's a pity I couldn't go down there because of the funeral that I had today.
I didn't even know about it, or else I would have gone.
But I'm telling you, black people, they are attacking our people in more ways than one.
Absolutely.
And you see them look for Asian people there?
Tell me about it.
Right? Because the two in market that's been there for 100 years.
Kill Philip.
Yeah? And you have two black men in there. The man who said, the lone fisherman, he's been in there 9 years. Yeah. 7 days a week, that brother work,
That's right.
Chris, my brethren, And then Huey Crawford, 8 years in there, Him used to have listen, when I used to sell women's lingerie and all them thing there in the early days, in the early 80s, And Huey used to sell designer stuff, right? And we used to sell out. We used to have a local van, and used to sell out time car.
Okay.
Yeah. But he continued to do that, and then he did open a shop on Acre Lane. Okay. That he did have that for years. And then them raise the rent upon him. So he moved.
As they do.
Yeah. And then him go back, because he was originally from Tooting,
Okay.
Right? And then him go back to Tooting now, and him go into the market, and him open them time the market now go on with nothing.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Dead.
It
used to be dead as a door.
Yeah. But now that the demographics of the area has changed, because a lot of white people now have bought up a lot of the property. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of Asians own properties around there. But what's happened is now, a lot of, what do you call it,
But I'll be honest with you, the Europeans are further up they're more Tooting Beck.
Yeah, they're
coming up towards
they're from Kenneton up to Balham, up to Tooting Beck.
Exactly.
But the Indian them lick them off and on them whole Colliers Wood down to Tooting Broadway.
Absolutely.
So this is where it meets. And then
lot at the top of Mitcham.
In lot at the top of Mitcham and thing. And you know the thing that gets me, Sister Nzinga, because I sit down and I watch this thing, you know. I think we spent too much time dancing.
I agree with you 100%.
I think we spent too...
And partying.
Yeah. And what I mean by that, every young generation has to let go of energy.
Absolutely.
For one reason or another. But I think what's happened to us, instead of us buying businesses and complexes, the people that had the money, however they got the money, they bought clubs.
Right.
So to enhance the dancing. And what happened is, most of the clubs that black people used to run are all closed.
Gone. Absolutely gone.
They're all gone.
That's true.
So now that money, that revenue that we spent decades, fun. Look, you know, you had a club that lasted 20 odd years, you know, Night Moves, you know.
I'd heard of it. I'd never been there.
Right, when me used to go all them club there, I have to tell you, because me was a right little faith in raver.
Okay.
And me was like a sound man in my days. And my little sound,
enough.
right? Yeah, big up Ras Amma. Big up yourself. And Night Moves did roll for about 20-something years. The original man who did own him dead now. Yeah? But all that revenue, all that money, where did it go?
So you might.
What did it do in our community? Yeah, we had Balliai. You remember Balliai?
I did hear. You know, a lot of our money, Brother Kwaku, goes back to other people. Yeah, because it come in like, even as Garvey did say. Garvey, there's one of the philosophies that he says it's wrong for a black man to be rich and marry one white woman, because when he's dead, in money gone back to the very people who exploiting and oppressing us. And it's the same thing with nearly the whole of the rich black man. Them in football, in acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them not think so one black woman want to live one little luxury too.
Well, you see, it shows you how deep the manganese permeates.
Absolutely.
Through, I think the Africans, Americans, they're the worst.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, and then what gets me, they make films with black wives.
You know, exactly.
This is what.
Absolutely.
One of the most talented African American actors who he sing, him dance, him play all kind of instrument, him is a songwriter, him is an actor, him is a comedian. I'm Jamie Foxx. Right? That the boy there. Hold on the caller, hold on. That the boy there, Jamie Foxx. One of the most talented African. I never know is a gringo him David.
But nearly all of them.
All of them.
I saw that.
You know started? Sidney Poitier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sidney Poitier, woman, wife is a gringo, you know.
Yeah, me know.
Right? And I'm thinking, right, I don't know if you remember this famous boxer, the famous black boxer, his name was Jack Johnson.
I have a little video clip of him.
Yeah, Jack Johnson.
Some years back.
Well, Jack Johnson was the first black heavyweight champion. Like real heavyweight champion. Boss up all of them and all them something there. But he married about 3 white women. And he was the son of Africans who were enslaved. Yeah? But when I watched this documentary on him, I watched it 3 times. I watched the documentary on him. But the bell ring in my head the 3rd time.
Right.
Because it was something that the narrator was saying about Jack Johnson, in that he knew the white man them hated him.
Right.
So I thought he just paraded them white women round because remember his parents were people that were enslaved. So he was in slavery himself. Exactly. You might as well say. So he would have seen the abuse or known of the abuse that these people did to our women. So it was almost like he was frying in their face. Yeah. See it, yeah? But at the same time, right?
It's not the legacy.
It's not the legacy. I can tell you a story.
Speak to the brother.
No, me know him there. Me keep hold on. Yeah. Right?
You know, easy, the virgin.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. And you know this person. This was one of my teachers. And we was doing a course with him and things like that. And I really looked up to this particular individual. And one day, I must have after 8 months I worked, we never ever heard him talk about his wife or anything like that. But then we discovered that his wife was a white woman.
I hear you.
So them time, remember saying me young you them time there, you know, me militant bad them time there, you know.
I hear you.
Right? And it's only a couple of years before that, you know. Me have to fight off some white boy, them who rush me at Crystal Palace, you know. Right. And bust a back clean on my face and them thing there. You understand? Some skinhead boy them. So boof me back him up in him office one day and I said to him, boy. I said, boy, uncle, we hear something, you know, about you, you know, and boy, it don't sit right with you, you know. So and me was the youngest one, and the older one them tell me, say me for say it.
Right.
But say, we say your wife a white man. Him say, yeah. Some say, oh, you cannot tell me all this black thing, and I tell you to watch out for white people, and this and that, and the ass dead and the cow fat, and you there with white girl. See him, Mr. Tim.
So what him say?
Him say, sit down. Go and tell you a story.
About what?
Well, hear the story. Him say him coming out of this country in the early, I think it was the late 40s, early 50s. The early 50s. And he came from the Caribbean. He had a girlfriend and him sent for her. He worked for a year and him sent for her. Yeah? And she came over and him and her did there and go on. And she run away with a white man.
Okay.
Left him. Run and left him with a white man. And with the yard it must stay in. Because them there was no black woman in this country. They weren't there. You have to send for them. That's so right. Him never know who else to send for.
I hear you.
Because him send for the one where him did a deal with. Yeah. So him say him there and him a go through and the house him a stay in, you know. The woman, the white woman owned the yard.
Okay. And
the woman used to wash him clothes and all them things. And obviously, you know, get friendly and boom boom, right. So the woman asked him to marry him.
Okay.
Because he got a university thing and the woman helped him. And the woman asked him to marry him and he sit down and say, listen. He seemed to feel obliged to her because she did help him.
I can understand that.
And him say, I will marry you on one condition. Can anybody tell me?
That they don't have any children.
Don't have no children. Him say, if you can live with that, right, I will marry you. That man never have no children. Right. And he made the struggle and helping young black youths. They were his children.
I understand.
You understand me? So sometimes some people... But there's no excuse for the one them now.
We're just a do it.
Like Jamie Foxx and all them boy there.
I hear you.
Yeah? All the man, they have millions to blows and skirt.
He surprised me.
Yeah, me frightened when me find out say him wife was a gringo.
He surprised me. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, you know him too?
Yeah.
No, he's a famous actor. The man, you ever see that film, The Django?
No, man, not Jamie Foxx. Man, talk about. I thought he knew the man you were.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Go, where you say, Vaka, I know say you know, so go on.
No, what I try to say is true because I never believe it. The man have so much money. So all me I go find out now is when we start to do the research and him go spend how much millions But he was a black woman, them going to spend the money upon. It's a white, it's a gringo, I'm going to spend the woman. I say, weird. All them movie that the man a act. And it's a white woman, the man really and truly got married.
But nearly the whole of them.
All of them.
Sister Nzinga, that kind of blew me away. I said, what?
I can imagine.
And now, the reason why I call her, I go back to the clubs them. Me remember back in the days when you have the People's Club, you have the same Bally Eye, see? You have QBs.
That's right.
Right? You have Bouncing Ball at Peckham, where Ken used to own. Ken,
right.
Our Ken. Right? Ken used to drive a Rolls Royce.
Who's that? Cool Ken?
Yes, man.
Yeah. He used to act in a film too, innit?
Okay.
Yeah.
He used to bounce clouds.
Yeah, clothes, yeah. Clothes. You know, see, we used to have place where we could have got in them time there. But look at you now. When you check it out, where's the, and as I said, where's the money there? Where's all them club there?
Absolutely.
No, they shut them down, man. They took away their license. They shut them down systematically. The government shut them down, I'm telling you.
That's true.
Remember you remember the pyramid?
Of course, yes.
That my cousin place that, you know. Them take away him license, them set him up, send them look what dirty boy they mean there. And drop gun in at the man place.
You see, and you talk about you were my brethren, you used to, I just said you have the shop up at Acre Lane there. Look at you with it. The same look at you with it, with there are two things. In the market, you know. I know you a long time. It's when me see on the WhatsApp now. I said, wait, you will go through that?
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, so many of our
listen.
Fast
The only two black business left in there,
right?
And the police come and raid both of them. Jewish shop.
Exactly.
Jewish shop is a
That's a setup, man.
Yeah, Jewish shop. Jewish shop now, right? Him's in the rock trade. So him sell clothes and bag and all them something there, right? Yeah, and fisherman.
Big beads as well.
Lone fisherman. Him sell food.
Right.
Yeah, but there's another black business in there. A guy, he sells a lot of regalia, like spiritual regalia and all them something there.
As well, around the other side, you have the Caribbean food place as well, and an African food place.
Yeah. Well, my cousin that, you know, Colin.
Okay.
Colin and my cousin, you know.
All right.
Yeah?
Okay.
So round them places, but in that part of the market,
right, just those two.
Listen, remember, we go sit down and eat a food with Chris, you know. Right? And he was telling me, you know, quicker them I try get we out here, you know. So me just make sure my rent pay upon time.
Exactly.
You know, want nobody. He said the first thing the first money me put on my rent, you know.
I can imagine.
Before me even go to market and buy nothing, you know. So my was up to date. You with them, the man was up to date, you know. Yeah. Right? And a years the man them dead there, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
when them hold on. When them raid the man, them not find nothing, you know. But you suffer of cancer.
Yeah, no, he spoke. I have it, the video on the
that's right.
WhatsApp.
Him said that already.
Him suffer the cancer, so him use waiting for pain killing and for help him, and he's and a years him have it now, you know, and he's had it under control.
He did
that's right, yeah.
But you see why you will never tell people, you know. You have a brother was a policeman, you know.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still a policeman, but him have a brother who was a policeman.
I never know that, but
yeah.
I know you a long time, yeah.
You see my David? And there it is, these men have been doing their business for ever long.
Long time.
But these Indians, them, who they're able to buy those buildings.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And don't think it's one of them that own it, you know.
No, exactly.
Don't think it's one of them that own it, you know. They've bought those buildings together.
Exactly.
And that's what our problem is as black people.
And that's what I wanted to come. I want to say exactly my point. You see, and the same thing over going on Peckham. Watch and see what's going to happen.
No, the same thing on going in Peckham. The same thing, because they want to turn all these places in some little coffee shop. And what I want to know is what is it these white people them them just a nyam. All them a do I eat.
Tell me about.
Exactly.
All them a nyam.
Yeah, because they know if you cook nothing.
Yeah, them just a nyam. But anyway,
Look at
them can't nyam now. Because them says only 6 people can meet now.
Brixton.
Exactly.
Look at Brixton back in the days. Look at
Exactly.
Brixton back in the days. From say 79, 80. See? Right? Who used to control lesser?
Mm-hmm.
See?
But we used to, my mother used to
have them record shop in a Brixton market where Ricky Rankin and the world we used to
But every Saturday we used to
hang
go
out.
Brixton, go shopping.
See? And do a thing. No, look at Brixton. Look at Brixton.
Brixton used to be the capital for black people in this country. Man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
People used to come down from Manchester, Birmingham to go to Brixton Market, you know.
That's right. But Brixton is internationally known.
Yeah.
Like it's black people country.
Right?
Yes.
And what you see what happened is it's the same mentality you've been talking about, Sister Nzinga, where I remember growing up. I remember that saying, I don't want my children to go to that school because too many black people go there.
Right, exactly.
I remember when I was to go secondary school.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
We want our people.
Yeah? My mother wouldn't send me to no school in the area. It's one school me apply for, I'm never getting it. And from she said, there was Stockwell Manor, there was Beaufoy, there was Kennington Boys, there was Henry Tartan, there was William Penn, there was Tulsill.
There was a lot of black guys at Spencer Park.
Yeah, right. And my mother never sent me to none of them. She sent me to a school out. It was even so bad, yeah, that when I was to get a bus pass, right, it was a big argument. My mum had to go to the law centre to get Lambeth to pay for my bus pass because I was going into Southwark.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
I hear you.
And that's the mentality, as Sister Nzinga said, that we have.
It's getting
in
worse.
terms of
So when some of us got affluent, and some of us, all on the brother Akram Asio, yeah. And so when some of us got affluent,
we're gonna come off of the line now.
Yeah.
We'll come off of the line.
Oh, all right, my brother.
when some of us got affluent, Sister Nzinga,
Come off of it.
right? Some of the send for them. No disrespect to you.
No, I understand.
Yeah, because I use one of the send for them. Yeah, some of the send for them, and some of the first born, like me. When we educated ourselves, got good jobs, and could afford to buy properties, we didn't buy the properties in the area that we live.
Absolutely.
We run Ghana Tartanite,
Absolutely.
yeah, Croydon, Haddiscombe,
All kinds.
Shirley,
Absolutely.
where you're the only black people out there, and subjugate your children
That's right.
to being in schools where them are the hunger black youth. Yeah, and then when them end up with white people, now you vex.
Absolutely.
Well,
Some of them name vex.
You understand?
Some of them name vex.
So
at all.
yeah, but this is what happened, and so therefore now the community that was built in Brixton,
Has been destroyed.
the community that was built in Dalston, yeah, because these are key areas that was black, Wrigley Road Market, Sanjanam Road.
Never Clapham. Nearly the whole of Clapham.
Yeah.
Black people did one
Well-
Lynette Avenue, Elms Road.
Elms Road, Clapham Manor Street,
Father used to pick up all of them.
Lickleberry Road,
Church.
Lickleberry Road,
Elmsford Road,
Edgeley Road,
Spear Road.
Garden Road,
Please. So, yeah. No,
Tremadat Road,
it's a
Sanmere Road,
absolutely.
Solan Road, Ballita Road, Carrance Road, Ferndale Road,
All Summer Leighton Road.
Summer Leighton Road,
Yeah, no, it is a big problem.
Sultan Road.
It's a big problem.
You know what I mean? So all those areas now, they're gone, and we won't get them back.
Well, it would be impossible.
Nah, we won't get them
You
back.
got to take 10 of you to put together for buy them.
We won't get them back. This text reads, what does text here read? I hear you, Kwaku, but it must be remembered that we did have businesses and were successful, but we were infiltrated, attacked, and forced to close. So it's not necessarily not due for lack of trying.
No, but nobody ever say when I didn't try.
Trying, but more of swimming against the tide. Shocking what happened to Yui and Co. Totally out of order.
It is out of order.
Yeah, hold on, what is it now? Say, yeah, we're going to wrap up the. Brother Akram, go on, you.
Yeah, greetings, Brother Kwaku, and greetings to our sister
Nzinga.
Nzinga there.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings, my sister. How are you? Long
I'm
time.
good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Excellent.
We're still fighting. We're still struggling. I mean,
Excellent.
I must let Brother Kwaku know that part of the building of the ACU was actually in your home.
That's true.
Is it?
To be honest with you, as I said to you,
Talking at the mic so the people can hear. Talking at the mic.
sometimes I forget all of the things.
We got a text here. It says, Otep God, bless to our Queen Nzinga. That's from Brother Ahmed Noah. Big up yourself, Ahmed Noah.
Greeting. Yeah, he used to come to the same Saturday school with my children. Ahmed Noah. Queen Mother Moore.
Queen Mother Moore, yeah.
Go on there, Brother Akram.
Yeah, so, I just want to, highlight some of the things that you were talking about there, because, as I say, 30 years ago, I had a shop, which is in the front line up in North London.
Sanjanum Road?
No,
North London. Arsden?
Harrow Road. Off the Harrow Road.
Off the Harrow Road, okay.
Yeah. And, well, as I said, even just trying to get it, I actually had to take the police to court because they didn't want to give me a license,
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
But it's typical.
On what basis?
But hold on, Brother Akram, tell me a bit more about that Nzinga, about the ACO set up in your yard.
Well, to be honest with you, when it started, I don't even know how I came to be involved in it, but I was from the beginning. Brother Leo, Akram, and I can't even remember all the people now. We used to meet over in, where was it we used to meet?
Well, it was Brother Darrell who brought you because he introduced you.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten all about him.
Yeah. So, that's how you...
But then we began to meet in my living room because the place that we were meeting was closed down, was it? Or we lost it?
Yeah, something like that. And what will I say? We did have some meetings in your yard before.
That's right.
And then you were to go home.
Go away. That's right.
Grandchildren and so forth. So
that's right.
That's how you came not to be involved.
Continue
to be involved. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But you played a great part in the putting of it together. I mean, I always remember the part that you played. It was very significant, in those days. Because as I said,
well, Brother Akram, all the time I hear you come from Galaxy, week in, week out, month in, month out, you talk about yesterday. You never mentioned about Queen Nzinga involved in it. How you deal with?
No, but you don't always remember all of these things,
Hey.
Sometimes when you hear the person or you see them, you remember.
He said, this is coming, Brother Carl Grant. Otep Prophet, rise up yourself and your guest sister Nzinga. Sister Nzinga, tell me a bit about the Alliance of African Women and the works that you did at Offley Road.
Well, what happened was in 2007, there was a whole heap of different sisters complaining that there was nothing for them, blah, blah, blah. So me, Sister Winona, and Sister called, was Valerie involved? I don't think Valerie was involved at that time, but Sister Veronica and some others decided to call a meeting at Offley Road, which we did. And I think about 14 sisters came and decided to form the group, which we did. But as you know, with anything we seem to do, as time went on, everybody disappeared, and it left me, Winona, and Sister Valerie. And so we were organising cultural events at Offley Road. Whole heap of them. We used to have a weekly, every Friday we would have a session. We did astrology with Herakuti and Brother Shamari. We did a whole heap of different events, and they were well attended, and we thought that things would really grow. But as I say, I don't know what it is why our people don't have that longevity. And so, I mean, I certainly got a bit tired of always being the one left to keep the thing going. And I must say that now, if it ain't going, I'm leaving it to fall, because you just cannot keep on. I mean, most of the organisations that I've been involved in, I've been the person who prepared the flyer, get the things out, the flyers out to a different place, go up on radio, go talk, publicise it, make sure they're all about. It gets tiring. Mm-hmm. It really does. So that was how the Alliance of African Women. I mean, me and Winona's still around doing work. Mm-hmm. As I say, we did the trial of the Marfa criminals. Mm-hmm. We did the Garvey Women's Centenary at Brother Huey's place in Nelson's Row. Mm-hmm. I've got the flyers and the feedback and videos from all a lot of this.
I think we need to talk about that old stuff with Elder Huey. You know, I don't know if he's still about. Is he gone back to
Trinidad? I understand. His sister I think he's gone to family in Trinidad. Mm.
Because that Queen Mother Moore and the old things are a great loss.
That was a terrible one.
Yeah, that was a great loss.
Shame.
And I think we lost the recording because I don't know what happened on the phone. The phone did something. I was recording it on Facebook, so the whole of that interview, you know, it gone.
What do you mean, the whole of the interview?
The whole of the interview and the Facebook gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Not
but the recording is there.
Is there?
We have the recording, but you know, we have the record.
Me, I don't understand these things. You young people.
What made you go to the that conference in Barbados? How did you find out about it? In 2002.
To be honest, I had just come back from Jamaica that same year when my daughter was sick. And I had just got some agency work. And I can't think who... I might have been Elder Huey that told me about it, to be honest. Yeah, I think it might have been Elder Huey that invited me along to the first meeting that Esther Stanford was coordinating, because they were coordinating the meetings in one of the church halls, bringing people on board to organise the delegation to go to Barbados. So that was how I came to be involved. And then obviously I went to the different planning meetings for the trip to Barbados, and paid my fare and everything. And
we went out there, innit?
Exactly. But I've got, again, in the archives, I've got a lot of the newspapers. You remember after the motion was carried, them slate way. There's a document from Rex Nettleford on Cosway or backward. Hilary Beckles, a big article in the newspaper.
New Nation. There was
not New Nation. The Barbados.
The Barbados. Yes.
In the archives with the all of them have to say about with. I've got some lovely pictures.
But the grassroots people did love us, man.
Exactly,
I remember me brother Sabello. We were invited to all over Barbados to talk to the grassroots, Rastaman.
Absolutely.
Everybody loved us out there.
But it's always those people in positions of authority and power who are willing to say, because it look like them no want no change. Because the reality is, look where we had recently in Jamaica, where them are run out the little picnic out of school because and the Prime Minister go give award to David Radigan. What's wrong with these people?
And he won. Maybe that's why he won the election with a landslide.
I never even didn't know them have election.
I
did hear said it was.
In win an election with landslide.
But they think he's good. Even my sister, she have a little place now in Ochi, and he's trying to help the people, and he's doing this, and he's.
You see, when you keep a people them politically backward,
absolutely,
and you suppress the people to the point where You know, people in Jamaica are quite resilient in terms of, you know, they got to make money.
Absolutely.
And they find ways to do it.
They find ways. They do.
You understand me?
Survivors.
They're survivors. And there's no social services, no food stamp business. There's nothing like that in Jamaica. It doesn't exist.
Not true. No, that's not true. There is.
Is it?
Yeah, they have food stamps.
They have food stamp?
And they have a small. It's not no whole heap. They have poor relief that you can get from the parish council, and your food stamps that you can get from the parish council.
Well, I never knew that.
Yeah, I can tell you that because when I worked at the Ministry of Health in Kingston, those are some of the things that I know that goes on out there. I mean, it's not on a massive scale like a place like this, but they do have those.
Well, the people them out there, whatever they're giving them is not no only for money.
It's not. It's really just. Let me tell you, when I first worked in Jamaica, when I went down for the Garvey Centenary Conference, I had a job for 6 months at a place called 3D Projects in Spanish Town. And 3D Projects is dedicated to the development of the disabled. And I was coordinating rehabilitation workers who went into the home to teach the parents to stimulate their disabled children, because they used to lock them up and hide them in a cupboard and not make them come out of the house. And when I was working there, one at a time I had to go and supervise the worker. And when we got to the girl yard, them in our one board house with this whole heap of stone, water take over the whole of the yard because it had rained heavy, and we had to be tipping to open stone to get in at the house. One big board house, she had nothing, not even a drink of milk for the picnic, picnic, nothing. So I had to go, me personally, go to the shop with my money and buy milk powder, cornmeal and porridge and sugar and sardine and rice and come leave with her. Because she had nothing.
And this is what the people them have to go out with. So when it's easy to bribe them.
Absolutely.
And this is why you see them never like the Rasta man them, because the real Rasta man was unbribable.
They weren't having none of it.
The real Rasta man, not these fakes who you see going around with. The real Rasta man them was unbribable.
I hear you.
Yeah, because them never hinna Babylon things and all them thing there. Right. So them couldn't bribe the Rasta man them. You understand me? Absolutely. But so them come with them. You know that little thing there. When he melt up film, look up sector and all them thing there, and people back him.
Absolutely.
And all them kind of thing. Because you telling me that Jamaica that invented reggae music, you're going to give some white boy who was taught by a black man.
Exactly.
No, because what a lot of people don't realize, you know, them like to big up David Radigan, you know.
Yeah, but who is he?
But
you remember Lioness Chant did sing the song, Radigan is a
yes.
Yeah.
But there was a black guy that used to there with him, right? Fierce. He was a man who didn't know about the music really, you know. And a Radigan, you know.
Brother Kwaku, let me tell you something. All when Peter Tosh, got Peter Tosh conference at UWI, and Abia white people have nearly the whole of Peter memorabilia. Yeah. One white man come out, him have, look, the amount of stuff him have from Peter Tosh. And you think...
And that's because, I always remember Muta Baruka saying once, that the politicians, them don't really like Rasta man, but when them see we on the international and people buy things, that's when them want to go. Them don't want to talk to you in Jamaica, but when them see upon the international scene now, them are going like you and them are friend.
Absolutely.
You understand me I say?
All of them.
Right? And so these are the things now that you know, how Sony own the rights to reggae music? How any of these label them own the rights to reggae music?
You see, Brother Kwaku, I'm sorry to brother, but you see, that's why I was saying to Rush Ocean yesterday. The movement of Rasta, and with all the great musicians and all of these things, right? They need to empower themselves a lot more, where people have to give them the respect.
Absolutely.
But because, you see, as you rightly say, when they see one person who has done something and the other nations, then these leaders, they jump in on it.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is that, look, to me, and sometimes it may seem like a criticism, but it's not a criticism. What I'm saying is I just feel that with their unity, they should be able to have 500, 1,000 acres of land where they have their own hospital, their own, development of medicines and all these, and schools and all these other things, right? And I think once you have that, people have no choice but to give you the respect.
The respect, yes.
You see?
I'd agree with you.
You understand me?
I hear you.
And to me, I don't see why they have such, they have people who can have the money and everything to be able to do that. Why they don't do it,
They don't do it. No, well, they've got a massive following all over the world.
They do, but
But religion is another big part of their problem.
Yeah, and I think Rasta has been infiltrated as well.
Religion, though, is another big part of their problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to leave you all now and come down my yard.
No, we're both leaving. Sit down there. Let me just read this last text. It says, Otep, longevity speaks volumes. Nothing but love that goes for both of you. Big salute, big rise up. May the ancestors continue to guide and protect you both, family. Prophet, can't see you. Amen. That's from Amen Noir.
Thank you.
Sidonia lead artist, my cousin in America is watching. Sidonia, big up yourself, cuz. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Brother Carl. Okay. And Reynolds is watching, and Carolyn is watching, and Desmond Nicholas is watching.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, look, we're going to wrap up the show. Is there anything else?
Well, I just want to give you all a big up, especially for last night's program. I was listening to it, and it, I'm glad for you all. I know you're a man of great spirits that don't pull no punches, and it was right. I mean, as I said, the only thing is, I wish you all push that thing about that, because I'm sure that what you all did last night would also reach many other leaders in Africa. And the fact is, this idea that we have to struggle to get for visa and to get the rights of return, that needs to be addressed so deeply. You know what I mean? It's such a lack of thing. I don't know, what are they waiting for? What is holding them back that they cannot give us the right of return, period? You know what I mean?
Well, the thing about the thing about it, Brother Akram, I think you know the answer.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think
just to make the listeners and Queen Nzinga aware of what you're talking about. Sister Shanice is, and she'll probably get you on that show one of these days.
Yeah, no, I saw her thingy.
Yeah, she's got this black empowerment thing that she does on a Wednesday.
Yeah, she sent me the link up to it.
Yeah, with me, Brother Leo, Dr. Abu was on there last night, alongside herself. With Brother Marshall, who's a representative of ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe, and we're talking about the land thing and all the rest of it. And so what Brother Akram is talking about, one of the things that one of us said, I can't remember who said it, but one of us said that, how is it that una give land back to white man with the land with them teeth, and we who never choose to leave Africa now, we can't get nothing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what Brother Akram was talking about. Yes, Brother Akram. You want to?
I mean, as I said, that is something that has to hit home, because really that is a great stumbling block to us.
But you have to wrap up, Brother Akram, because Sister Nzinga has to get home. I mean, she's not 16 again. She's 70. So when are you going to be 70?
Next March.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks, Sister Nzinga.
You're always welcome. Good to hear you.
We'll have to talk again sometime. So,
no worries.
Yeah. So
have a great evening
to everything. Right?
Well, I should say a great night.
Yeah.
Night.
No, great morning.
Yeah.
Otep. All right, listen. Look.
Okay, then. Thanks very much. Yeah, and good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Otep.
Right.
All right, I'm not going to take any more calls now. I'm just going to wrap up the show. But Sister Nzinga, I just want to say on behalf of the ancestors, the listeners, Galaxy Management, and myself, Madasi, for coming here this evening and sharing a bit of yourself with us. And I hope that people are more aware of the works that you're doing. And can you just wrap up by telling us, what lies at the future for Queen Nzinga? Well, you're 70 next year, isn't it?
I will be 70 in
70.
March.
You look good, sis.
Thank you.
No, for real, boy. I remember 70-year-olds, them this look wall boy, but boy, you look good.
Thank you very much.
It says, text says, please, Queen, your biography will be priceless. That's from Sister Audrey.
I'll try and get it going.
So, what's in the future, and and what advice as an elder do you have for us within the struggle, or who's not in the struggle, who's thinking about getting in the struggle, and about us going forward? What is your vision?
Okay, well, to be truthful, I mean, as I said earlier, everybody really needs to be involved in doing some of the work. It's not gifted to any particular individual, organisation or group. Every single person is responsible, as Frantz Fanon said, for discovering their mission and fulfilling it or betraying it. So young people, I would say, identify what the area is that you want to work on in the community and join with people who are either already doing it, and if you can't find people who are already doing what you would like to contribute to, then create it yourself and bring people on board. But everybody should be doing something and leaving some form of contribution to the work, because as Brother Kwaku said earlier at the beginning, if our ancestors had just sat down and said, boy, I'm enslaved, so I go stay so, or I'm in this, so I'm going to stay so, we would be where would we be today? So everybody has a responsibility to make a contribution, contribute to the legacy, see yourself as a baton carrier with a responsibility to make a contribution to the work. Also to inform yourself by being well read. There is a volume of information out there now. Nobody has any excuse for being ill-informed. So get the books, read, study, share, and also bring other people on board. Especially in your families, you can start 1-1, as they say in Jamaica, 1-1, cork a full basket. Mm-hmm. So, share the knowledge and try and bring other people on board, because we are all we have to do that work.
Well, Queen Nzinga, I'm not taking any more calls because we're coming out of the studio now, so we have to wrap up the show. You waited too late to call, and so I'm not going to answer the phone. Apologies. Yeah. Let me just say, Queen Nzinga, it's been a pleasure, and I give Dancers a thanks of knowing you and coming into contact with you, and you've been an inspiration to me, whether you know it or not. You understand what I'm saying to you?
No, thank you.
I put you in the realms of like Femi and them, and then Pepper Kai and Elder Beanie and Sister Asha and all them women. You know what I mean? Them, cause when me compound Liberation Road is uno me come and say I do the works. You understand me? So, Minka and all them people there.
That's right.
Them rate on highly. You understand me? So just know that.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
You understand, right? So just know, so I appreciate, love you.
Thank you.
You understand me? And just, continue the good work of the ancestors and the creative force of the universe, the omnipotent being, that which is greater than ourselves. Continue to watch over you, your family, children, them, seeing your grandchildren, them, and whatever you seek to do in life. Ashe.
You
know what I mean?
Thank you very much.
So, people.
Good night, Africans.
This was Queen Nzinga. Catch me black on the... Now, the thing is, I don't know if I'm covering Dr. Abu's show on Sunday morning. If I'm covering Dr. Abu's show on Sunday morning, then I won't be doing my show Sunday evening. So, I don't know if Dr. Abu, listen, I'm gone to bed or whatever the case may be. I should have spoke to him today and yesterday, and I just I forgot to ask him.
So, can call him in the morning?
No, but I just want the people them to know where them can catch me.
Oh, okay.
You see my David. Anyway, this next tune, the tune that I'm gonna sign out on, yeah, and I just want to say big up to Madge. You know, I'm Dr. Abu's wife in the hospital, and brother Kwame, who's in Mayday Hospital.
You're joking?
Yeah, bro. You never know Kwame at the hospital?
No. Me spoke to Kwame and told me that his feet was hurting.
No, Kwame the hospital is sick.
Oh my word.
Let me tell you about that after. But you know, Kwame, he's probably listening, you know. You want to say something to him? You can say.
Well, I know brother Kwame from Wapikill Philip, as them would have said in Jamaica, because a serious brother. I'm really sad to hear that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we were speaking because I have some books and a sister was giving us some of the Osera set
talking
books.
of something, you know.
Okay, yeah. My sister friend was giving me some of the Osera set books for brother Kwame. So I collected them last week. So I'm wondering how me not hear nothing from him. Come and phone him and tell him, say, me have the book them. Kwame, I'm really sorry to hear that. Give me a shout. You know, and let me know how you're doing.
Well, you know, all the people them that sent their messages on the Facebook, I lost it. I don't know what happened. Something press and all of the info, that whole interview gone. So I don't know if people have it on for them thing. I can repost it or whatever the case may be. But it's been a pleasure. And sister and I is leaving out together. And we're going home. But this tune here, Queen Nzinga, is for you and all the queen them, African queen them, the African queen, the black woman them.
Thank you.
This is for Uno. Thank you. Nobody no greater than Uno. Remember me tell you no. Love Uno like cooked food and soup and guava and mango.
I support jackfruit. Don't forget
Jackfruit. You understand me I say? That me I tell you. So this junior, we're going to sign up on this junior. Yeah? You've been in tune to the New Brentford People's Talk Show live here on GalaxyAfiwe.com. Catch me black here either Sunday morning between the hours of 8 to 12 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be one of them, definitely, 100%. You'll catch a prophet right back here doing his thing. Yeah? And remember, if you don't find an organization that you can be a part of, create one. Do something for our people. Itepe, Ineke, J.A., Senebe, Oneti Magba, Tono Mefila, Olodumare, Jakimba, Otep.